assume will be Sam Day. Potentially could be Eric Hipwood as well, who's done it on occasion, who's coming up, who most likely will be opposed to Luke Jackson. And that's where Fremantle had been able to feast in that second ruck scenario.
I think that will be one of the key areas that they will be able to expose Brisbane and get on top in the clearance battle, which we've kind of touched on it a couple of points already tonight, but they may be able to get the hit-outs, but they haven't been super damaging at clearance is kind of the feel that I've got from them this year. So, yeah, they've got to probably click it into another gear. And what I love about what Fremantle can do is being able to play Jackson as that extra mid. Now, we were just talking about the influence that Nat Fyfe and the change that he brought about to midfield size. I would absolutely be terrified going up against Jackson as the extra mid. His agility, his ability to be a clearance player on the ground. He doesn't have to take things clear. In fact, he almost prefers to be picking it up off the ground and in a loose ball situation. So his ability to impact not just as the ruck, but then midfield clearance work is where I really think that they'll be able to take advantage of.
Well, you'll appreciate this, Sharad. A little while ago, I remember, because we're talking about Nat Fyfe on the announcement of his retirement during the week, but there was a time a couple of years ago when Luke came to the club in a match sim where he found himself playing as a midfielder on Nat and took him to a one-on-one isolated contest and marked over the top at Nat. And I just thought there would have been a lot of midfielders in the league who would have been saying, there's a bit of your own medicine, Nat. That's what it actually feels like. So Luke is exploring his capacity as a midfielder, and you're right, and you've articulated some of his great strengths, but he's still only learning as well. And I do feel like there are times, particularly at centre bounce, and we saw it with Zach Butters last week, who, by the way, does this to a lot of players in the AFL, who just was he was a bit quicker to react than Jackson was on a couple of occasions in that second quarter, and I think that's how they got those some of those 6 goals past Fremantle.
100%, because Jackson is a very offensive midfielder.
Yep.
He doesn't like to kind of weigh up the options at this stage and you know, kind of hedge his bets, as they'd say. So he's trying to get a really offensive attacking midfielder, which probably fuels the way he does play, and that he likes to be on the move and coming out the front. So you're exactly right in that he can be exposed as a young emerging midfielder.
Yeah, and he's the coaching staff will be really patient with Luke because he is learning that part of his game. He's probably up to game number 10 or 12 as an inside mid. When you consider some of the impact that he's already had, it's really exciting for Fremantle, but I'm sure Brisbane will explore how can we expose Jackson while he's doing his fair share of doing that as a 200-centimetre midfielder. Jordan Clark is one that Brisbane will put some time into. Fremantle rely on him so much for that rebound. He's the preeminent player for Fremantle to grab the ball, become a 70-metre player off half-back, and probably this is an area that Fremantle don't have great depth in. And what we saw Sydney able to do was dominate defensive 50 ground ball by getting their mids back there first, by getting their wingers back there first, and then really hunting Brisbane's defence, going straight at them and forcing them to really defend, and Brisbane couldn't cope with it last week. Now, Sydney are good at that. Can Fremantle replicate some of that ball movement against Brisbane tonight? Because Sydney laid out the template for it.
The other general down back for Fremantle and Ryan, who's hopefully going to be able to impact through his turnover marking. I think that he's going to be a really hard one for the Brisbane forwards to stop having the influence that he can. I think that the reliance on him to be a distributor of the ball with Clark coming in over the last couple of years has probably taken away from that real strength that he does have, but his ability to be the intercept mark and feed Ryan is really, really going to be hard for Brisbane to counteract.
You've said you've been shocked. You've said a couple of times that teams don't tag Jordan Clark or go to him pretty early in the game and nullify him. Do you think Brisbane could employ that? They've got some forwards that can play those roles.
Well, that's what I was just kind of looking at. Archie, the potential for him to be a little bit negating on someone like Clark, but
I think Brisbane prefer to use a clever player to try and catch out that rebounding defender, and Callum Archie is someone who can do that, and he did that all through last year's final series and hit the scoreboard heavily. So, look, they'll monitor all of the Fremantle players. I think you can only really do one. Most teams, will run with one, and they'll probably prioritise Sarong, but they'll be keeping an eye on Jordan Clark, that's for sure.
And then who gets Charlie Cameron? On the other, I know he hasn't been in great form, but if he gets going, Brisbane win games.
I'd suggest it's probably Heath Chapman, who would have first crack at him. And look, he's been down a little bit, but in some ways, hometown crowd for Charlie. He's another big game player. Well, you could say that about pretty much every one of the Brisbane players now. They're premiership players, so they've obviously performed. But I could see Charlie bouncing back, and I think the focus for Charlie should be on that defensive side of the game. Get after Fremantle's defenders, make them panic, make them hack kick out of D50, which they are prone to on occasion. And you'd be amazed, Jared, when you're doing that, suddenly you get rewarded with the ball movement and the scoring and the score assist. So I'm sure that'll be a big part of Charlie Cameron's strategy tonight.
I've got 17 players from last year's premiership in Brisbane's side tonight, which is pretty impressive. And of course, you can include Josh Dunkley in there as well as a premiership player with the Western Bulldogs back in 2016 as well. So dual premiership player for him. Charlie Cameron, by the way, you mentioned his form. He's averaging just 1.1 goals this season. That's his fewest since 2016, remarkably. He's been goalless in each of his past 3 games. So if you were Fremantle, you'd be very nervous about that stat because he's likely to explode at any time, Charlie Cameron. He's certainly good enough to do so. Last-minute preparations taking place downstairs for both of these teams. Fremantle in their traditional home strip, the purple socks, shorts and jumper with the 3 white chevrons. The Lions in the away colours, the Fitzroy red, the blue shoulder and the regal golden line on the front of their jumper. Toss of the coin about to take place. Mitch Turner's got his eye on it out in the middle of Perth Stadium.
Alex Pearce and Harris Andrews, the 2 representatives. The coin tosser just decided to warm the hand up on a chilly night before he gave the toss. He's given the old look away, can't find the coin. Harris Andrew wins the toss as the coin tosser is still staring into the night sky. The Brisbane Lions will kick to the Graham Farmer Freeway end of the ground, the Fremantle Dockers to the city end of Perth Stadium.
Before we get the tips from our experts, let's find out what it's like downstairs. Bridget Lacey, hello again.
Hello, Clint. Yeah, great atmosphere down here. This stadium's filling up. We're expecting a big crowd with the sellout. It's about 15 degrees, cool, a crisp breeze coming across the ground, if anything favouring the Graham Farmer Freeway end, but perfect conditions out there. The starting benches tonight for Fremantle, O'Meara, Reid, Wagner and Banfield, with Fife the sub, as you mentioned, and some young guns on the bench for the Lions, Fletcher, the 2 Ashcrofts and Marshall with their sub, of course, the debutant Luke Beacon. And if there is to be a fairy tale for Fremantle and Nat Fife, it's all going to be recorded, guys. The Amazon crew who have been following Fremantle around are in the house tonight and placed on the boundary alongside all the rest of us broadcast types.
That would be something to unfold. What a fairy tale indeed that would be. Nat Fife in the subs uniform. He's heading to the bench. It doesn't get much bigger than this in the home and away games. 4th versus 5th. The winner, they're into September. The loser will have to win next week. It's all up for grabs in front of a sold-out Perth Stadium. The Fremantle Dockers up against the Brisbane Lions. An epic battle awaits us on Friday night footy here on ABC Sport. A huge roar around this Coliseum. Let's get it started. Mitch Turner with you.
Win and you're in. Finals up for grabs. Sean Darcy and Darcy Fort stand alongside each other. Luke Jackson's on the ball. The ball goes up. Darcy taps it down and it's a Fremantle free kick. Infringement in the ruck. It'll go the way of Sean Darcy. Takes it quickly. Kicks towards right half forward. Floating from the side. Erasmus had a piece of it. Couldn't bring it down. The Lions win it back. McCluggage. Little handball to Dunkley. High kick towards the wing. Morris in front. Big fist from Cox from behind. Got it down to Brayshaw. Almost run down. Gets the kick away inside 50. Voss couldn't take the mark. Wanted a free kick. Not forthcoming. McCluggage outside 50. Gets a little handball off to Berry. And the Lions can go short to Charlie Cameron, who takes the mark. Defensive side of the broadcast wing. Wants to roll inboard. Kicks towards half forward. Floating back with courage, Cox. Terrific intercept mark for the Dockers. And that gets the fans going early on. Fremantle will rebuild from their defensive half.
Goes short. Finds Carl Warner. Still in defensive 50. The kick's precise to Pearce. Marks on the defensive edge of the centre square. He's at left half back. Glances to his left and then to his right. The Dockers captain will now get told to move it on. Takes a couple of steps and kicks short and not accurately. Reveal in front, takes the mark over O'Driscoll. Has it for the Lions and he finds Cameron. The attacking point of the centre square at right half forward. Drills a kick inside forward 50. Great take on the bounce by Clark. The hand pass then drops by Pearce. He's under real pressure. Gave a quick hand pass out. Clark gives away the free kick. Bailey will go back and have a shot at goal.
And there's that nice get low, come through the contest and didn't come out early, which is what drew the high contact from Clark.
Nervous start for Alex Pearce. He's opposed to Sam Day, and it was a poor kick, turnover, and then he had 2 chances to pick up that ground ball, fumbled them both, and Bailey made him pay.
Zach Bailey spinning the Sherrin around in his hands. It's tighter than a 45-degree angle to the right. He kicks from 48 metres out, looking for the first of the Knights, and he delivers for the Lions. And those that have made their way across the country, sitting at the Farmer Freeway end, rise as one behind the goals. Brisbane with the first. 1 straight 6, the Dockers yet to score. 2 and a bit minutes gone in the opening term, and footy can be the great equaliser. The superstar hero last week. Costly fumble for their captain tonight in Alex Pearce.
Charlie Cameron involved early with a couple of possessions, which will be great for his confidence. So just some matchups. Luke Ryan's playing as the deepest back opposed to Hipwood. Brennan Cox on Logan Morris. Alex Pearce on Day. That's at the Brisbane end of the field.
First blood to the Lions. Just silences the Fremantle fans for the time being. Early stages of this first term. Friday night footy on ABC Sport. Fort v Sean Darcy in the ruck once again. Fort reached over the top. Couldn't get a clean hand on it at ground level. Sarong. Little handball to Sean Darcy. Trying to find Jackson. Missed him. Darcy forward grabs it. Little handball to the goal kicker in Bailey. He runs his full measure from 55. He leans on the kick and pulls it left. Almost 2 in a minute for Zach Bailey. Not to be. 1-1-7 now the Lions. Fremantle yet to score. 3.5 played here at Perth Stadium. Friday night footy on ABC Sport.
Yeah, a couple of backwards handballs, which I'm personally not a big fan of from Fremantle. They got swatted down and Bailey rushed it forward.
Luke Ryan will go long towards centre wing commentary side. Off hands. Wilmot overran it. Sarong gathers. Sweeping hand pass to Erasmus. Gathered well. Hand pass quickly to Bolton. Berry slipped over. Bolton kept his feet. Takes 2 bounces. Runs to right half forward. Almost ran too long, but delivers beautifully to Voss inside forward 50. Thought he was infringed. Wasn't paid. Fell to Switkowski. Came to Tracy. Shoots at goal. Misses. From the right forward pocket. Puts it across the face for a minor score.
A little bit unlucky to not be paid the mark there, or at least the chopping of the arms.
Had enough of it, then crashed into as well. Umpires weren't moved. The minor score counts. 1-1-7 the Lions, 1 behind the Dockers. 4.5 gone in the opening term on ABC Sport.
Good old-fashioned body spoil from Darcy Gardner as the Lions bring it into Zorko. Switches it to left half back, and the skipper, Harris Andrews, solo duties tonight. Takes the mark. Fremantle crowd getting restless as he goes short to one of the West Aussies out there in the Lions outfit in Brandon Starcevic. 20-metre spear pass inside to Dunkley. Again, short up the commentary wing to Bailey. Patient football from the Brisbane Lions. Eventually plays on Zach Bailey. Kicks inside the forward 50, looking for Morris, held at the back. Advantage paid. Charlie Cameron, well, if you want to kick a goal, that's as easy as it gets. Cameron runs in all the way to the goal line, bangs it into the crowd, and the Lions get 2 in a row to start this game. 2-1-13 Brisbane. Fremantle just the 1 behind. 5 minutes played. It was all on the back of a holding free kick against Brennan Cox on Logan Morris 1-on-1.
Yeah, and in the contest before where Cox was able to create the turnover, just prior to that he had been really grabby and quite conscious of Morris's movements. So obviously got caught out there, and Cox's strengths are his ability to take those intercept marks, but in that instance he was trying to hold out for Ryan to come across as the third man, so he's got to be careful there. Can't be giving away those free kicks and giving Cameron a bit of a boost.
Bailey's an issue already. 4 touches, a goal, 2 scoring shots, and instrumental so far.
Great start for the visitors. And try and take the crowd out of it at Perth Stadium. From the bounce, Darcy had the more telling tap, came back though to Fort, knocked it down. Working it out Comes eventually to Warner, and he's wrapped up in a tackle. I'll ball it up.
It is Pat Voss opposed to Harris Andrews.
Fought with a more telling tap down to McCluggage. Lovely hand pass to Will Ashcroft. Tries to hurry it forward. Stolen here. Beautifully done. Wagner back into the team. Kicks towards the wing and rising Fletcher over the top of Reed. Takes the mark for Brisbane. Standing just in front of the logo on the northern wing. We'll put the lines back inside forward 50. Player went to ground in Hipwood. Cox takes the mark in the pack. The umpire says we'll pay the mark to the Dockers. Cox in the right back pocket. The Lions lead by 12 points. 7 gone in the first.
Look for the switch. Wasn't on from Cox. Instead goes long to the commentary wing again in front. Sean Darcy takes the mark. It's a little one late from Darcy Fort. No 50 coming. Instead, he'll roll onto that left boot. Kicks up towards Voss and Andrews in a wrestle and coming across back into the side this week. The ever-reliable Lester takes the mark and switch it inside the centre square to Bailey. Disposal number 5 coming up for the crafty mid-forward. He goes laterally to Gardner. Now the full switch on the southern side to Hipwood.
Really noticeable how quickly the Lions like to keep the ball in motion. Kick mark, don't allow Fremantle to get set.
We're going to come back to where we sit on the commentary side. Harris Andrews now to Leicester. And the full switch completed. They go short to Marshall.
18 marks already in this match to Fremantle's 4.
Stands defensive side of the broadcast wing. Chips it short. Dangerous kick. Manages to find Fletcher, though, who takes the mark on centre wing. It's slow play from the Lions. No one mans the mark from the Dockers, so Fletcher takes a run. Kicks it inside the forward 50. Big fist from Cox. Down to Dunkley, dispossessed in a tackle, and Ryan says, let's hold up, because the holding the ball free kick has been paid. Brayshaw will take it for Fremantle. They trail the Lions by 12 points. 8 minutes played, in the first term.
Short to Banfield, who marks and plays on immediately to Pearce. He marks for the Dockers just inside the top of his defensive 50 arc. He'll flare it out towards left half back. Not a great kick. Bounced away from Cox. He was able to drag it in and got around Morris. Hands it on to Ryan for the Dockers. Looks to play on from left half back. It's a long, high kick down the southern wing. Andrews got there, punches it away from Voss.
Well, that's just a kick without looking. I know he was trying to gain some territory, but he actually had 2 free players that, if he had have actually got it there with a little bit of a lower trajectory, they would have been out there, Fremantle.
Throw in on centre wing, southern side of Perth Stadium. Bridget Lacey's on the boundary.
Sure, everyone got the memo down here, but 7 minutes in, there are a heap of fans clapping for Nat 5.
Thrown in again. Darcy. Rasmus worked it forward beautifully to Murphy. Reed kicks inside forward 50. Big grab, Tracy. Up against Gardner. He reels it in. 45 out from goal. He'll start in line with the right hand behind post.
Well, brilliant kick from Murphy Reed inside 50. Finds the mark. He's been doing that all year, and this, even though it's early in the game, would be a real settler for Fremantle and required. Can Josh Tracy deliver?
Their leading goal kicker last season, 37-15 for the year. He'll put boot to ball from right on 50. They're behind the kick. It starts out to the left. It's helped through for a minor score by the Lions. 2 behinds to begin for the Dockers. The Lions are 2-1-13. 10 gone in the opening term. Friday night footy from Perth Stadium on ABC Sport.
Zorko quickly inboard to Wilmot. Dangerous kick back into the middle of 50. Ashcroft made it work. Back to Zorko. Now to Rayner. Just beyond defensive 50 for the Lions. Kicks long down the southern wing. Hipwood marks. Rasmus cleverly held him up, but he's on the attacking side of that southern wing, Eric Hipwood, as the numbers now starts a flood forward for the Lions. Hipwood rolls on to the left boot. Kicks it inside the forward 50. Morris flew. Jackson in front, though. He couldn't take the mark. Ball at ground level. Reville came through for Brisbane. Got it to Levi Ashcroft. Pulled off his kick. Wagner's kick smothered to the Dockers, and now they're all tied up.
So many numbers on the defensive side for Fremantle at this contest. It honestly looks like a tennis match at the moment as the numbers even up.
All tossed up 40 metres out from the Lions' goal. Down through traffic, Will Ashcroft somehow got a handball out of the path of McCluggage, but he's beaten to the ball by the boundary line, and they'll toss it back in about 30 metres around from the Lions' goal. They lead by 11 points, 11 minutes into the first term.
Tennis match?
You know, like a net through the middle and side on one side and one side on the other side.
Okay. Thrown in again. Jackson got to the front of Fort, brought it to ground. Reville picks it up, though. Tried to get a hand pass out. Wagner intercepts, gave it to Warner for the Dockers. Now to Ryan at fullback. Under real pressure, had 3 lines to face, but he gets a kick away beyond defensive 50, attacking at Tracy, brought it to ground. 55 out from his defensive goal, but then he turns it over. The kick is straight to Leicester, and then Bolton doesn't retreat. He gets pinged, and this will bring Leicester inside forward 50 for a chance to have a shot on goal for what would be his first of the season.
Geez, the Brisbane heat is extreme at the moment, and Luke Ryan hack kick out of D50, and they were well set up, and then Bolton cribbed on the mark, so Leicester gets this shot at goal.
Back in the team this week, the premiership player steers it through. His first major of 2025. Big celebration with his Lions teammates, both for his goal and for what it means on the scoreboard. The Lions have kicked the opening 3. They're 3-1-19. The Dockers 2 behind. 12 gone in the opening term. Opening minute of the third quarter at the Docklands, and it's still a 1-point game. 5-6-36 the Bombers. The Saints 5-5-35. Our experts here in the West, Peter Bell and Sharad Wellingham.
You're exactly right. The Brisbane heat is absolutely on Fremantle at the moment, and that combined with the, I suppose, nervousness of going into this game, they haven't been able to settle, and the dump kicks and wasted disposals is just fueling that pressure from Brisbane. But Leicester, as he finds his way back to fullback, not too often you see your fullback kick a goal.
Such a popular member of this Brisbane Lions side is Ryan Froggy Leicester, and he gets himself on the scoreboard. In the middle, Wagner with the Dockers. Little handball forward to Sarong. Hack kick inside the forward 50. Amos in front, can't mark. Tracy rows it. Handball to Reid. He's caught slammed into the deck by Berry. Dump tackle. Umpire was right there and said he dumped and slung Murphy Reid into the turf. And the first-year player will go back and have the set shot 35 metres out, 45-degree angle to the right. Not sure about it. Shaz, Belly?
I'm just waiting to see an actual...
Yeah, right borderline. I would have been happy enough with play on an umpire's ball on that one. And I think Reid may have exaggerated it a little bit as well as his head hit the ground.
22 goals for the season, Murphy Reid. One of the rising star favourites. He misses to the right. And Berry lets him know about it, not happy with the, well, maybe the mail he thinks he put on it. 3 behinds the Dockers, 3-1-19 the Lions, 16-point margin.
They're shell-shocked, Freo. Under real pressure from the Lions, and they're not able to stand up to it at this point in time. Brisbane looking around their back pocket. Wilmot will bring it out to Gardner. He's got Starcevic on at left half back, and that's where the kick goes. Starcevic marks. And the 2 premiership defenders, the other Leicester, who just kicked their most recent goal, who return to the Lions side this week. Starcevic, long kick beyond defensive 50. Jackson got to the front. Rayner brought it to ground. Archie coming through, can't gather. Chapman knocked it into the turf. Picked up there by Brayshaw. Quick kick forward to Reid. Just got a hand pass out. Pressure came from Starcevic. The Lions turn it over. And the free kick's been paid. It's high. Eventually will come back to Reid. It took them a long time to pay that call. There's players on free in the middle of the ground. Reid instead will kick into the right forward pocket. Big pack up at the back. Frederick in game 100. Breaks a tackle, hands it off to Tracy under pressure. Handed it off to no one in particular. He's been pinged for holding the ball. And a little bit of push and shove afterwards between Starcevic and Tracy. Will come back for the Lions to take the free kick. Wilmot to have it. He'll bring it out to the left back pocket to Andrews, and then he'll go beyond, or almost beyond defensive 50 through Andrews, and it's been marked here by Levi Ashcroft.
Ashcroft will bring it outside defensive 50. Kicks up towards Day from behind. Jackson knocks it down, taking a tackle immediately is Brayshaw.
Fremantle defensively is probably the last couple of times the only situations we've seen them set up and actually force Brisbane into a long kick down the line.
All tossed up. Jackson tapped it straight down to Will Ashcroft. He got the handball for the Lions over to Berry. Into the path now of McCluggage on the left boot. Kicks up towards left half forward, and Hipwood has Ryan for company. It goes off hands, out of bounds. Shell-shocked is a great way to put it. The Dockers just... no one wanted to have that shot in the forward 50.
And they're rushing their possessions too. A lot of the time they're having numbers around the ball, but they're quick kicking.
They're all passing the buck from the restart. Tapped down by Jackson to O'Meara. Bounces over the head of Voss and Andrews. Gardner had a little fumble on centre wing, but was good enough to pick it up and give it to Fletcher, who retreats all the way back to centre half back, where Leicester plays on immediately and spears a kick inside to Levi Ashcroft. Can mark, can roll, can kick inside the forward 50. Morris can't mark over the top. McCluggage went without it. Coming through now, O'Meara for the Dockers. Little handball back to Clark again. He'll kick it up towards centre wing. Ashcroft used the body well on Voss. Couldn't take it. Frederick couldn't take it either. Coming through Murphy Reid. Clever tap to himself. Now gathers. Handballs to Tracy, and it's just a bit wide. Right in front of the Dockers bench. It goes off his hand, out of bounds. Or the boundary throw in right below our commentary position. 17 minutes into the first term. The Lions still lead by 16 points.
You're right, Shaz. When Fremantle get possession of the ball, you can almost see the tension from here. They're not exploring space. They're not exploring numbers. They just want to hack kick it forward, usually into Lions numbers.
Jackson won it down, but it was quickly taken by Will Ashcroft. He kicks towards left half forward. Banfield with the intercept mark for the Dockers. Short to Erasmus, who marks. Score check at the Docklands. The Bombers by a point over the Saints, 6-6 to 6-5. They've gone about 6 minutes into the third. Fremantle move the ball down the commentary wing. Jackson got a hand to it, spills out to Sarong, can't keep it in. Tracked towards the boundary line by Dunkley. All going through the Fremantle Dockers interchange gates beneath our broadcast position here on the northern wing. 3-1-19, that's the Lions. Plays the Dockers 3 behinds. 18 gone in the opening term. Thrown in again. Darcy against Fort. Both ruckman got a touch. It came down to Will Ashcroft. He looks to share it around, and eventually the kick is a beautiful one too. Coming from the boot of Berry, it finds Levi Ashcroft, who marks. The left shoulder heavily strapped. He wheels inboard. Kicks into the left forward pocket for the Lions. Hipwood came across. Front position though, Chapman. And he'll get the free kick. Getting clattered into, and he'll have it in the right back pocket for the Dockers. He'll look to set up again. They trail at the moment, 3-1-19 to 3 behinds. Lions over Freo, 18.5 gone in the first. This is Friday Night Footy on ABC Sport.
Inside 50s, 10-5 the Lions way as Chapman kicks up the wing. Big fist from Harris Andrews. Down to Erasmus. His handball for the Dockers straight to the Lions. Bailey managed to get a handball free into space. Bolton was the first one there. Tackled by Rain and just coughs it up. The Lions have it. Archie snaps from the paint of 50. Back into the middle of the hot spot and getting back. The Dockers captain Alex Pearce takes the defensive mark. Handballs quickly to Jordan Clark. He goes short by foot to Jager O'Meara, who's still inside defensive 50 and now can go a little further beyond the southern side to Warner. Looping handball over the top was not a good one to Svitkowski. He made it work though. Dances away from a couple of Lions. His kick up towards Tracy is punched away by Brandon Starcevic. We'll have a ball in, southern side of Perth Stadium.
Still looking a bit panicked. Fremantle, fumbly, missing their targets.
They're also stagnant. They're not working for each other in offence.
Will Ashcroft's up to 7 touches at the front of this stoppage. Sarong, though, he's the one that emerges. Kicks it forward for the Dockers. Wilmot coming across. Sockers it towards the boundary. How will the umpires see it?
That's fair because he'd actually knocked it onto his own foot by accident trying to collect the ball.
So it'll be tossed back in. No free kick. 60 metres around from the Dockers' goal. Still looking for their first of the game.
Spun in again. Fort took clean possession, immediately got tackled, somehow manufactured a kick to Archie in the middle of the ground. Gave it again to Cameron, now to Fletcher, back to Archie. He's forced to flare the ball out in the direction of Berry, who marks it left half back. Plays it back into the middle. Dangerous kick, but it was just perfectly weighted. Coming through, Dunkley now to Fletcher, to Zorko, runs the centre half forward, heads into the left forward pocket. Pearce has done ever so well. Got in front of Day, won it to ground, scooped up here by Cameron, back to Day, kicks around the body towards full forward. Dockers bring it to ground, Reid at the drop. Got a hand pass back to Warner, runs straight into Bailey. Umpire will say holding the ball. Bailey with a chance to have another shot on goal. He'll put boots of ball from 35 out. It's tighter than a 45-degree angle to the left. Thoughts on the free kick?
Oh, look, it's not one that you really like to see. I mean, he was tackled immediately after taking possession of the footy, but the umpire's view would be that he wasn't trying to get it out.
Which he wasn't.
But I don't think that's the one where he has to try and get it out. That when you should be allowed to. You should be allowed to kind of submit to the tackle.
I'd say pretend a bit harder.
Here comes Zach Bailey. Kicks on its way. It just misses to the right-hand side. Minor score, 3-2-20 the Lions, 3 behind the Dockers, 21 gone in the opening term. I did like that, Billy. Pretend a bit harder.
But it's like those ones where, when they're on the ground and they're expected to knock it out, which is fine. I think that you should have to try your hardest to knock it out. But they were both kind of standing and he'd kind of given into the tackle had been laid.
Chapman kicks outside defensive 50 for the Dockers. Big fist again from Andrews from behind. It falls down the Lions' way. Fletcher from the logo on the commentary side. Kicks inside the forward 50. Clark punches it away from Rayner. Reveal went without it. Erasmus was great. At ground level, handballed it across to Sarong, who kicks out wide to the southern wing. The race is on. If Amos doesn't get there, it'll be insufficient intent. It is. You could see that coming. He kicked it to no one in particular, Caleb Sarong, on that outer side of Perth Stadium. And it is a free kick to the Lions. Rightfully so, you'd have to say. Starcevic takes it, comes inboard by foot to Zorko. Can chip it up the wing to Ashcroft.
Finding these marks far too easily. 38-13.
Ball in movement and their ability to just play on and roll and just find the short kick. They're working really hard for each other in offence.
The brothers waxing. Levi inside to Will Ashcroft. Just held up a moment for the Dockers. Now he rolls to the logo. Kicks up towards half forward. In front. Unable to take the mark was Morris. Bailey, though, got it to Dunkley by hand. Then to Rayner. Through traffic. Does a little fend off. Gets it to Bailey. Now to Sam Day. Back to Bailey. Running across his own 50. His kick almost falls in the hands of Morris. He was juggling. Couldn't mark. Murphy Reed bumps off it. Through traffic. Fletcher. Steps one. Steps two. Handballs to Morris. And he snaps it straight into the arms of Jordan Clark.
Right now, Brisbane are bullying Fremantle. So many broken tackles. They're looking shell-shocked, Fremantle. They need to get to quarter time and reset.
14 inside 50s to 5, the Lions. They lead by 17 points. Here's Clark. Long kick beyond defensive 50. Big pack up offhand. Spill down to Starcevic. And Sarong's able to effect the tackle this time and takes Starcevic to ground at right half forward for Brisbane.
Disposals 92-58 in the Lions' favour.
Fought over the back, won it down against Darcy, but it went to Sarong of the Dockers, gave it to Erasmus. Oh, crunched! Dunkley got him. Hand pass, he was able to get it out over the boundary line, and then there's a bit of afters here. O'Meara goes straight in towards Dunkley, just to have a little bit of a chat. Just a reminder, the subs, Nat Fyfe for the Fremantle Dockers. Beacon, the debutant for the Lions. Neither been activated so far. From the restart, the Lions will get it away. Kick inside forward 50 from Levi Ashcroft. He wanted Morris. The spoil came from the Dockers and saw it over the boundary line from the hand of Pearce. Throwing about 45 out from the Lions attacking goal. They're heading to the left of our broadcast position, the Farmer Freeway end of Perth Stadium. Brisbane lead by 17, 24 and a half gone in the first on ABC Sport.
The Lions have their tail up. Darcy taps it down to Erasmus for the Dockers. His kick was smothered. Ricochets towards the boundary. A couple of players just completely run under the ball in the end. Rayner took down Bailey Banfield without taking possession. So it is a free kick to the Dockers at left half back. About 2 minutes remaining in this first term. He goes inside the defensive 50 to Chapman, who plays on, nothing on, runs into trouble, has to come out to the commentary side. Day drops back for the Lions, couldn't take the mark, then tackled and dropped it. The Dockers will take advantage. O'Driscoll, handball forward to Murphy Reed, running down the wing, takes the bounce, kicks inside forward 50, looking for Voss or Amos. At the back, crashing through Jai Amos. Took a couple of bodies and took the Sharon with him as well. And Jai Amos will have the set shot. He'll kick from outside 50. Very tight angle to the right for the Dockers first.
Huge contest, and Voss has come off second best there with a really sore left shoulder. Back into that contest with complete disregard, but great mark from Amos.
The Dockers haven't had a goalless opening quarter this season. Not since the round 6 derby last year has that happened. Amos with a chance to kick there first, and he pulls it to the right. The distance wasn't an issue, but the accuracy was. 26 minutes gone. The Dockers are 4 behinds. Brisbane are 3-2-20. Friday night footy on ABC Sport.
I'll need to manufacture something quickly if that's to be avoided, as Starcevic stabs it back to Fletcher, who has been really busy. Disposal number 9 for him. Goes right back to fullback to Zorko. Back to Fletcher again. Stands in the left back pocket. Now 10 disposals. Make that 11 as he waxes it with Zorko. Clock ticking down towards quarter time. Zorko's taking an eternity to move it on, eventually told to do so by the umpire. Beyond defensive 50. Rayner flew from the right in the pack, couldn't mark. Clark gets it away. Now to Voss. Voss goes long towards goal. In the goal square, he went after one of the smallest men on the ground in Switkowski. Couldn't mark it, punched through for a rush behind the lines. 5 behinds the Dockers, 3-2-20 the Lions, 27 gone in the opening term.
Just a couple of seconds left in this first term. The Dockers will go goalless for the first time in an opening quarter since the round 6 derby last year. Did not kick a goal, Fremantle. The Lions had 3. They are 0-5-5 the home side. Brisbane are 3-2-20. The margin is 15 points at the first break here at Perth Stadium.
The goal kickers for Brisbane, Charlie Cameron, Zach Bailey and Ryan Lester. Brisbane with their 15th opening term victory of the season. And they're up by 15 points as well here at Perth Stadium. Score check for you at the Docklands. The Bombers lead by 5 points, 16 gone into the third. Essendon 7-6-48 to the Saints, who are 6-7-43. If you'd like to get in touch, as always, you're welcome. 0437 774 774 if you'd like to send us a text and have your say on what has been a staggering first quarter. I mentioned before, the Dockers look shell-shocked. The Lions' pressure has been enormous. Give us your thoughts, 0437 774 774. But wherever you're listening on ABC Radio, News Radio and Sport Digital, and as always, streaming on the ABC Listen app, this is Friday Night Footy on ABC Sport.
On the ABC Listen app, stream a wide range of free audiobooks, like from Leanne Moriarty, James Patterson, Tim Winton and Kate Morton. No catch, just press play. Find free audiobooks on the ABC Listen app.
This is the 2025 AFL Premiership season on ABC Sport.
Great take on the bounce by Clark. The hand pass then dropped by Pearce. He's under real pressure. Gave a quick hand pass out. Clark gives away the free kick. Bailey will go back and have a shot at goal. Zach Bailey spinning the Sherrin around in his hands. It's tighter than a 45-degree angle to the right. He kicks from 48 metres out, looking for the first of the night. And he delivers for the Lions.
Patient football from the Brisbane Lions. Eventually plays on Zach Bailey. Kicks inside the forward 50, looking for Morris, held at the back. Advantage paid. Charlie Cameron, well, if you want to kick a goal, that's as easy as it gets. Cameron runs in all the way to the goal line, bangs it into the crowd, and the Lions get 2 in a row.
Still looking a bit panicked. Fremantle, fumbly, missing their targets.
They're also stagnant. They're not working for each other in offence.
Tracy brought it to ground. 55 out from his defensive goal, but then he turns it over. The kick is straight to Leicester, and then Bolton doesn't retreat. He gets pinged, and this will bring Leicester inside forward 50. Back in the team this week, the Premiership player steers it through. His first major of 2025.
This is ABC Sports coverage of the AFL.
On your radio.
ABC Sport Digital.
And on the ABC Listen app.
Fremantle coach Justin Longmuir has got a few questions ahead of him. I'd be thrilled if I was Chris Fagan by the way his side has started tonight. The Lions are 3-2-20. Fremantle 5 behinds. Clint Wilden alongside Mitch Turner in commentary. Let's get the thoughts of our experts. Dual Premiership player Peter Bell, Premiership player Sharad Willingham.
I'd describe that quarter as Brisbane's brutal best. With the footy, but also without the footy. Their have dominated possessions, 102 to 68, and I've talked about the uncontested marks, which marks total, 47 Brisbane, 16 Fremantle, but Brisbane are leading the tackles as well. They've had the footy and they're leading the tackles. They've been slicing through Fremantle's tackles, so Fremantle to get that right, and Fremantle need to get their hands on the ball, and if they haven't got their hands on the ball, then they need to work out a way that Brisbane can't kick their way through them, because right now it's a hot knife through butter. Sorry to use that cliche, but that's exactly what it's like. And the other part of this, Shaz, is it is so fatiguing defending the uncontested kick mark game. So Fremantle are spending petrol tickets, and right now it's looking quite dire for Fremantle.
Well, that's exactly what I've got written down there. The comparing possession couldn't be more polar opposite. I mean, Brisbane are doing everything to keep the ball in motion, kick mark, but as soon as they take the mark, they're willing to take the game on and play on and try and find that short line, which is we saw Ashcroft get so many through the middle. Bailey, who you called to have a really big impact today, he was just able to find possession at will through the midfield. And like you said, you spend so many of your petrol tickets trying to chase your opponent, and it felt like the Brisbane players were trying to make the ground not overly big, but they were just moving all as one in a huge
trying to keep it in motion all the time.
Ball in motion. And then by the time that Fremantle were occasionally able to turn it over in their defensive half, there was zero movement. And so it went to a kick down the line, and it went straight back to Brisbane, who was set up.
And what do they do again?
Take off, and then you've got to defend in movement again. There was only twice through that quarter where Fremantle were able to set up well enough defensively where it forced Brisbane into a long kick down the line, which they want to probably do far more often if they're going to give themselves a chance here.
Some of those team numbers, as mentioned by our experts, 102 disposals to 68 the way of the Lions. Contested possession is going the Dockers' way, 30 to 24, but the uncontested possession is 77 to 37 the way of the Lions. The inside 50s, 15 to 7 to the visiting side. The clearances 7 apiece. Individually, for the Lions, Zorko and Jasper Fletcher have 11 apiece. Zach Bailey has 10. Neil Erasmus, Sarong and Murphy Reid have 6 for the Dockers. Luke Jackson has not touched the footy despite playing on the ball for most of that quarter. Before I hand over to Clint Wilden, Bridget Lacey's downstairs.
Yeah, just as quarter time sounded, the doctor ran straight out to Murphy Reid for Fremantle and just checked in on him. I wonder if it was that tackle that he got the free kick for, but he's starting this quarter on the bench, so we'll keep an eye on that one, but seems to be okay. And Nat Fyfe's put the jacket on as well as the tracky pants now, so he's just he's making sure he keeps warm what is a very cold night for when he may enter the game.
Had a sneaky look at the board as it made its way off the ground for the Dockers. The one thing I could see, own the corridor.
Well, that's not really doing anything at the moment because they're just going around and around, back and forth, and so it might look like they're owning the corridor, but they've got to just man up.
Shocking bounce, Peter Bell.
Well, they need to put the big boy pants on, Fremantle, and get their contest and effort somewhere near Brisbane's, and they need to remain having some dare in their own ball movement.
Correct.
Don't just kick it down the line.
Here's the second quarter starting again. Darcy won it down straight to Sarong, threw it on the boot immediately. Coming out off, diving forward, great mark. Right in front of the big sticks. He'll go back and have a shot from 45.
And at 0-5 with misses to Tracy, Reid and Amos, they need someone to step up and take the moment.
If there was anyone who could do that and who loves this big stage, it's Patrick Voss. Here he comes from right in front. Boots cross the top of the 50 arc. The kick is on its way. It's outright. It misses. Nothing going Freo's way. Even the prancing pony is having a little misstep. 3-2-20 the line, 6 behinds Freo, opening 60 seconds or so in the second term.
This looks like the Dockers of old at the moment. It's blowing their chances as the Lions just chipping around defensive 50. Gardner takes it, kicks outside defensive 50, not a great kick. O'Driscoll's there to cut it off for Fremantle, handballed it straight to Zorko, knocked away from him. Now Andrews can gather, his handball knocked away into the path of Jordan Clark, runs to 45, does he have enough on the kick?
It's close.
They're going to check it. Jordy Clark forced the turnover kick long to the line, and travelling back, I think it was Jasper Fletcher. It looked from my angle like it was touched. And it has. The entire ball has not made it past the padding of the goalpost and the goal line. So Jasper Fletcher with a desperation save on the line has denied Fremantle again. 7 behind the Dockers. The Lions are 3-2, 20, 13-point margin now.
Tracy was there calling for it inboard, but I didn't mind that Clark was confident enough to have a go.
I don't mind it either.
Pluggage beyond defensive 50 to the outer side for the Lions. He wanted Morris, couldn't take it. Spilled down to Sarong, goes back to Brayshaw. Then by hand to Jackson, back to Clark. Just shy of the logo southern wing, he finds Voss and he hits him on the chest. Between centre wing and right half forward for the Dockers. He glances inboard for a moment, gets plenty of advice to go long inside forward 50. Instead, he'll find Clark, who marks about 65 from goal. Still at right half forward for Fremantle. Still to kick a goal. 3 minutes into the third. Into the right forward pocket. Jackson flew a bit early in a pack. Spilled down to Starcevic. Got hand pass away. Comes again to McCluggage. One down there by Morris. Kicked away. McCluggage towards left half back. Only as far as Clark for the Dockers. To Pearce at centre half forward. Goes again to Jackson at right half forward. Might have been taken high by Hipwood. Umpire says play on. Here's Clark back to Jackson. Strong tackle. Wrapped up magnificently. That was a great tackle from Leicester. A push and shove afterwards. It's going to be a ball up. Still inside forward 50 for the Dockers.
Ball tossed up. Tapped down into the path of Zorko. Pushed off it by Brayshaw. Levi Ashcroft was there. Got the handball to Marshall. Now the Lions clear through Fletcher. It's a kick out towards the boundary. It bounces right on the line. But the direction of the kick was only ever going to the boundary, and insufficient intent will be paid. Jordan Clark with the free kick. He started this quarter on fire. Kicks inside 50 for the Dockers. Switkowski back with courage. Knocked it down. Bolton dances around Zorko. Handball's inside. Chopped off by Fletcher. The Lions go again. His handball to Ashcroft. Will was tackled. Gave it to his brother in Levi. Under pressure. Kicks to the wing. Ryan punches it away. McCluggage at ground level was composed. Kicks inside the centre square. And Cameron marks for the Lions.
Urges his players forward and come out towards Berry. He's got runners on the northern wing, and that's where the kick goes. Took a while to get there, but Fletcher was strong enough to ride the challenge coming in from Brayshaw. Kicks inside forward 50, stretching Hipwood, couldn't mark, but was content to set towards the boundary line. It'll be a throw-in. About 48 out from the attacking goal for the Lions. They're heading to the city end in this second turn, to the right of where we're broadcasting from on the northern wing.
Even Brisbane's ability to buffer the pressure of a tackle and get your arms free and dispose of the footy.
Fort wins it down. Went to Sarong though. Got a hand pass away to Frederick. Immediately throws it on the boot. Will bounce over the top of the logo. Met though by Andrews. Not a great hand pass to Wilmot. Allows Voss, or goes crashing into an opponent. He absolutely took him on in Cameron. The Dockers inside forward 50. Travels over the top of Tracy Less, the last player back. Last line of defence, kicks out towards left half back. Banfield's there, allows the ball to bounce to him, puts it inside forward 50. They could have raffled it then. Jackson and Frederick, the 100-gamer marks.
Better from Fremantle, possessing the ball a bit more. They've settled into the game, but the problem is still 0 goals, 7. So someone needs to change the pattern of that inability to convert.
They've definitely settled, haven't they? They've also lifted their intensity on defence and tackles. So the reset was just what they needed.
Michael Frederick in his milestone match. This kick's going to land short. It's slapped away from the goal face by Fort, who then has a bit to say with Darcy.
There's a free kick that's been picked out in there by the umpire to Fort.
And he'll have the ball in his defensive goal square, and he'll move it short to Wilmot, who marks. Still a 13-point lead to the Lions. 6 gone in the second turn.
Wilmot, one of those 17 premiership players out there for the Lions. Goes short to Fletcher, who marks inside his own defensive 50. 40 out from his own goal. Can go short to his right by foot to Will Ashcroft. Kicks it wide to right half back. They're a lot more patient this quarter, the Lions. Gardner receives and chips over the top to Berry. Fremantle set up well down the line. That's where Berry has to go. Called to play on. He kicks it long in that direction. In front, Fort did well. Tapped it down to Dunkley. Handball forward to Morris. Had a look inside 50. Didn't like his options. Then came back inside brilliantly to Will Ashcroft, who's got players lining up ahead of the ball. And he picks out Zach Bailey, who has been everywhere in this game of footy so far. He'll have the set shot. Tight angled to the right. About 10 metres in from the boundary. He'll kick from the paint of 50.
So Fremantle forced Brisbane into a long down the line, which is a big tick, but no representation in traditional front and square position. Brisbane sweep it away from the contested situation.
Zach Bailey can kick them from anywhere. Already has one goal. Drop punt on the way. It's across the face. Big pack flies off hands through for a minus score. 3-3-21 the Lions. Fremantle are 7 behind. Margin's 14 points. The Dockers have had 6 tackles for the game.
No, sorry, I've got that on the second quarter. So
go back and have a look.
Oh, that's the whole game.
Well, you sort that out.
Yeah.
Ryan, beyond defensive 50. Cox can't mark. Spills down to Banfield. Hands it back to Cox at left half back to Sarong for Fremantle. Kicked around the body. Attacking the football was Wilmot. Got it and got dispossessed by Bolton. Pulled the ball just in play. Bolton eventually takes it across the boundary line for a throw-in. So how many?
That still means that all 6 of them have been this quarter.
Yes.
No, last quarter. 6 in the first quarter, 0 through the first 5 minutes of the second term.
Wow.
That is remarkable. Thrown in again. Fort won it down for the Lions. McCluggage threw it on the boot. That's not far enough to be a mark, and he knew it too, Levi Ashcroft. Tapped it down to McCluggage. Got it to Fletcher. Here's Reveal. Hands it off. Chance on the gather. Marshall got the arms free once. Still running around. Had options everywhere. His kick was smothered by Pearce, who never gave it up. Kicks out towards Amos, and he can't drag it in. It'll go across the boundary line on the southern wing. Great spoil from Alex Pearce, putting his hand in the right spot at exactly the right time.
It was a great smother, Clint, but once again he was able to break through 3 tackles from Fremantle opposition then.
Saints by 6 points, by the way. 30 minutes gone in the third term against the Bombers at the Docklands. Repeating, St Kilda up by a goal. Dockers have the football. O'Meara moved it on to Murphy Reid. Now to Frederick. Runs through the middle towards centre half forward and stabs the ball to Jackson, who marks in front of goal. He'll start in line with the right-hand goal post, and he'll put boot to ball from 45 out.
Fremantle's best passage of play, and it started with a huge contested win by Caleb Sarong. Through the corridor, lovely composure by Michael Frederick in his 100th game. This is vital for Luke Jackson.
Simply have to take an opportunity in front of the big sticks, the Imperial Purple. Here comes Luke Jackson. Teal boots cross the 50. The kick is hitting the right-hand goal post. You would not believe it. 8 behinds for the Dockers. 3-3-21 the Lions. 10 gone in the second term.
Quick kick in by Zorko to Gardner. Wanted to give it back, but had a bit of company to Dane Zorko, so Gardner has to go by foot back into the middle of his 50 to Zach Bailey. Ran himself into a little bit of trouble. Kicks it long to the commentary wing. Banfield v Cameron 1-on-1. Banfield punches it down. Tracy spilt it, and Fletcher is ushered out of bounds for the Lions. Bridget Lacey downstairs quickly.
Yeah, Caleb Sarong came off just after that great bit of play, and he and Alex Pearce and Josh Tracy had a quick chat on the bench. It looked like a serious chat between the leaders.
Well, I'd say let's get our contest right, and let's not lose our dare with the footy. Let's make Brisbane defend.
Well, they got that contest wrong. No one stood in the ruck. Fort took it out of the air, kicked it forward. They couldn't take the mark, the Lions. The handball from the Dockers was loose. Erasmus gathered, gave it back to Carl Warner. Kicks a wobbler on his left boot up the wing, but it's going to work out. It's an acrobatic Tracy, flies through the air and takes the mark just in from the boundary. Right next to the Lions interchange gates. He rolls, kicks another floater inside forward 50. Zorko couldn't trap it. Off hands, Murphy Reid is gathered and tackled right on the paint of 50. And they'll ball it up left half forward. Dockers end of the ground. Graham Farmer Freeway end. 11 minutes into the second term. They're still goalless, the Dockers. They trail by 13.
They've got 8 behinds. Only one of those is rushed as Jackson tries to bullock his way through. Ran into traffic, spilled out. Zorko tried to gather. It's been held in. Still inside their forward 50 Fremantle. A ball up the court.
The positive is they stemmed the bleeding a little bit, and they have had the 8 shots at goal.
Fort won it down. Trying to go forward here, O'Meara. Tackled immediately by Berry. Ball up again, still in the left forward pocket. Inside 50s have balanced up, 18 apiece. Scoreboard yet to be balanced. Ball still wobbling around here. Gardner got a kick away. Shoveled out then by Berry. Cluggage couldn't take it. Rasmus hand passed over the shoulder, back inside forward 50, only as far as Fort. DeZorko got tackled by O'Meara. Gave it to Marshall, then a long kick came from Dunkley beyond defensive 50. Dockers had the numbers, but they couldn't mark. It spilled down to McCluggage, looking to work it forward to Morris. And then Cox instead takes it across the boundary line for a throw-in. Beneath our broadcast position here on the northern wing, it's between right half back and centre wing for the Lions, who lead 3-3-21 to 8 behinds. 12 and a half gone in the second.
Jasper Fletcher's up to 17 disposals from the restart. Berry takes it away. Handballs to Bailey for the Lions. To Wilmot. Now Rayner running in the wrong direction in the centre circle. Eventually kicks out towards Reville. On the southern side has Chapman for company. Toe pokes it towards the 50. Chapman will win the race back. Tries to tap it to his own advantage. Luke Ryan comes in for support. Handballs out to space. Wilmot will gather. Brisbane's defender has taken the ground. Somehow crafts a kick towards half forward. Reville runs on. Taps it back into the path of Levi Ashcroft, and it's knocked out of bounds. 45 metres around from the Lions' goal. Somehow they just kept surging that forward. Creative work by Brisbane.
They look sharp, don't they, Brisbane? I mean, Fremantle are back into this match, but been really impressed with their intensity, Brisbane, their pressure. Experienced team.
Inside 50s have evened right up, 19-18 the way of the Lions. McCluggage took it away from the back of the stoppage. Handballed it across to Dunkley. High kick towards the middle of the 50. A lot of wrestling going on between Cameron and Warner. It goes the way of the Dockers defender. He'll have the ball 35 metres out from his own defensive goal. They trail by 13, the home side.
Warner's kick is a shocker. Turned it straight over. Zach Bailey marking it right half forward. Had options everywhere, and he'll go short to McCluggage. Just inside the forward 50. McCluggage just tucks the Sherrin under the right arm. And we have a ping. We'll be putting Boots a ball from about 53 out. Starts 3 or 4 metres in from the boundary at right half forward. He won't. He'll look for an option. Coming out, Morris went up, couldn't mark. Warner couldn't gather. Scooped out there by Berry. Merging with it, Dunkley. Hand pass taken by Banfield. Gets a dangerous kick away into the right back pocket. Fletcher's out after it for the Lions. Another disposal for him. Hands it off to Marshall. Hands it to Wilmot. In space at left half forward. 55 out from goal. Kicks towards full forward. Morris went out. Couldn't quite mark. Spills down again. Oh, Bailey! That's incredible! Over his head. A stunning goal! Zach Bailey, he does kick truly special majors, and that was magnificent. 4-3-27 the Lions, 8 behind the Dockers, 15 gone in the second term. Bailey just at the top of the goal square. He boots it over his head for his second. Sensational.
That was a special goal. The time that it went from hand to foot, well, first of all, off the contest, bobbling around, his clean hands, knew exactly where the goals were. Do you know that reminded me like of Adam Uze back when he just not look where the goals were and just knew exactly where to kick it.
Had his back to goal, and on top of that, just to increase the level of difficulty, had Luke Jackson hanging on to him too.
Two potential Freo players, if we look back, maybe trying to tackle him.
That's better than Nate Caddies, isn't it? He's being tackled by 2 defenders. He's further out. The degree of difficulty was incredible.
Got to kick it over the top of Luke Jackson.
Yeah. It was some sort of goal from Zach Bailey, and the Lions are going to go forward again. Dunkley, no.
Taking
just as they were bursting forward, and it was Zach Bailey who is feeling himself tonight. It was a contact below the knees, free kick to the Dockers. Wagner goes inside 50 in front, over the head in the end of Jackson, who was pushed under it. No. Free kick going the way of the Lions. Advantage paid. Levi Ashcroft takes it. Little handball back to Charlie Cameron. Retreats back to left half back, where Reville can take the mark and just slow things up. Now there's a free kick being paid.
All the way down to Logan Morris against Brennan Cox. So this is 110 metres away.
100 metres in front of the ball. The only 2 players in the forward 50 for the Lions was Logan Morris and Brennan Cox. and you could hear the crowd spot it early with the groan. It's a free kick off the ball, and Logan Morris will go back and have the set shot from 35 metres out directly in front.
Well, if it's a high contact or if it's a elbow to the back or something, it should have just been a 50. Does that mean it's potentially something worse?
I believe because it's in front of the ball, it goes to the spot of the foul, as they say.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be anything more sinister, but it was a free kick and undisciplined.
Logan Morris hasn't kicked one yet tonight, the young star forward. He drills it through the middle, and these Lions are roaring their way to September. They have stunned the Dockers at Perth Stadium. 5-3-33 Brisbane. Fremantle 8 behind, 17.5 travelled in the second term. Friday night footy on ABC Sport. Premiership players Sharad Wellingham and Peter Bell are the experts in the ABC Sport box.
Well, that one's disappointing for Brendan Cox. Haven't seen a replay of it, but Fremantle had been somewhat evening the ledger, at least from a contest and being in the game, and then to give away a soft goal like that 100 metres away from where the ball actually was. Well, Fremantle and Justin Longmuir didn't need that at all.
So if the contact was behind where the footy was, it'd be 50 metres. If it's in front, it goes to the spot.
Okay.
Bounce again in the middle. One down here by Day. Onto it quickly. Berry across half back. He found Fletcher. Hand pass forward. Only as far though as Wagner. He can kick Fremantle inside forward 50, and that's a good mark to Tracy. Up against Gardner. Able to drag it in. He's right in front, Josh Tracy, and it will be the understatement of the year to say that he must kick this for Fremantle. They trail by 25 points. They haven't been kept goalless in a half since round 8 2020 against Geelong, the Dockers. That is some time ago. Here comes Tracy from right in front. That noise will tell the story. Fremantle have their opening goal of the game, and it comes at the 19-minute mark of the second term. At last, the home side is on the board as far as their fans are concerned. Fremantle, they're 1-8-14 to the Lions 5-3-33. 19.5 gone in the second term. Friday night footy on ABC Sport. Quick score check for you in the other game at the Docklands. Scores are level between the Bombers and the Saints. Both 9-7-61 apiece. 4 minutes gone in the final term.
Well, not much sophistication
No,
for the entry.
how they drew it up.
The value of a contested mark, and Tracy, that's actually his third scoring shot. But Fremantle needed him to convert the first shot that he had in the match, but it just gets Fremantle within touching distance.
Fremantle fans finding their voice. Awkward bounce allows Sean Darcy to take it out of the ruck. High kick inside 50, one-on-one. Wilmot v Frederick, and Wilmot wins out. Terrific mark by the Lions defender. One of those underrated players out there for Brisbane. Able to roll away. Had some space to come out to the southern side where Ashcroft marks. Defensive side of the wing. This is Will. Takes his time. The crowd urging him to go. Eventually has to move it on. Kicks up the wing in front. Pearce marks. Pearce came from behind, but was a free kick. The crowd wants 50 metres, but Fort didn't drop it. Callum Strong knocked it out of his hands and tried the old Boomer Harvey sneaky 50-metre. Wasn't forthcoming this time, so the ball's returned to Alex Pearce, who can go short to Luke Ryan, who can now kick up. Has a man over the top down the commentary wing in O'Driscoll. Could have gone quickly, decided
had
not
to go quickly. Crazy decision. You just let Brisbane sweep back and into a congested forward line.
Thoughts of Peter Bell, former Dockers captain, as O'Driscoll kicks it inside the forward 50. Big fist. Harris Andrews straight to the path of Levi Ashcroft. The Lions repel outside 50, but the Dockers captain, Pearce, takes the mark, kicking a half from home.
The lead was on. It came from Tracy. It's on it, and Tracy marks. Alex Pearce just points in his direction as if to say, I saw you and I found you. And now Tracy will go back to try and kick his second in a matter of minutes.
Well, Belly, we're seeing the kind of haphazard kicks out of defence that Fremantle were doing and turning it straight over on the other side of the coin right now. Fremantle are managing to get it locked in and put enough pressure on that Brisbane are rushing their defensive 50 possessions.
Starts in line with the left hand behind post. Tracy will kick from 48 outs. It's on its way. He's got two. The Dockers have got back-to-back majors. And at the 22-minute mark of the second term, in a game that Brisbane have absolutely dominated, their lead, though, is now only 13 points. 5-3-33 to the Dockers 2-8-20. Friday night footy on ABC Sport. Clint Wilden alongside Mitch Turner in commentary. Our experts Peter Bell and Sharad Willingham.
Oh, Belly, I wonder if that conversation that was had between Pierce Sarong and Tracy involved something along the lines of, we're getting our hands on it, we're getting it in there, we've had our 8 shots on goal, we just need to convert a couple.
Yeah,
Let us settle.
Nice little block from Sean Darcy, allowed Josh Tracy all of that space, and just that leadership to nail those 2 shots a goal. You feel like this next 5 minutes is just super important for Fremantle. They've just got to stay in touch and then they can reset again. Brisbane have been exceptional in the first half to this point.
3 Dockers that have that conference downstairs are the 3 that have lifted for them in this last 5 minutes back in the middle. McCluggage, clever tap to Will Ashcroft. Steps inside, kicks inside the 50 now, looking for Morris. Can't mark over the top of Cox at ground level. Warner did well for the Dockers. Handball to Sarong in the middle of the ground. Forward handball to Brayshaw. Turns, kicks it inside 50. Flying up was Tracy. Couldn't mark. Came down to Jackson. Taps it to Bolton. Now to Switkowski. 49 metres out. Spears it towards Amos. It's too hot. And it goes off hands, out of bounds in the right forward pocket. Crowd wanted a front-on contact free kick, but right decision, you imagine, by the umpire. The kick was never going to be marked by Amos.
You feel like when you break Brisbane's first line of pressure, the game really opens up. They're manic with that first line, but then there's a bit of space and room with which to move.
Toss back in, deep inside the Dockers, attacking 50. Off hands, Wilmot was dispossessed. Crashing in now, McCluggage. Nice little handball to Levi Ashcroft. High looping kick to the wing, floating across Pearce. Oh, he had a lot of it. Couldn't complete the mark. It allows Morris to get there for the Lions, who can give it to Reveal, who can chip forward to Rayner, attacking side of the southern wing.
Rayner just has to pause for a moment. We'll go back to Fletcher, who marks on the logo, southern side of the ground. Disposal 20 for him. He's going to have to move it on. Backtracks. Pressure came from Murphy. Reed goes right back to left half, back to Starcevic, who stabs a pass that Zorko has to slide out to mark. It comes to Fletcher again, just on the outer edge of the centre square. His disposal 21 as he switches play out to Andrews. On the commentary edge of the centre square. He'll move it short to Berry. Hardly enough to be a mark, but the umpires pay it. Takes a couple of steps, gets told to move on, puts it into the right forward pocket. Brendan Cox is out, punches it out. Came only as far as Fort, moved it by hand straight to Sarong though. Hurried kick down the commentary wing. Berry tried to tap it to his advantage. It only fell to Bolton. Sweeping hand pass over the top to Amos. Just got the kick away under pressure. Out in the direction of Jackson. In the right forward pocket, he's got Starcevic to beat. Tries to go around the body. Oh, Archie went up. That'll be a free kick. He went way too early. And Brayshaw will receive the football. And he'll have a shot at goal from about 30 metres out. He'll start in line with the right hand behind post.
Big win, Shea Bolton. He was the one who won the crucial, critical contest.
And a couple of good decisions with the skills. They didn't get rushed and blaze away and try and kick it towards goal. They just put it out in front of their teammates and let them create the contest. But yeah, just far too overzealous from Archie in that contest.
Just had to make some contact with the football after going up so early. Couldn't. Free kick to the Dockers. Looking to kick a third unanswered goal, Fremantle. Brayshaw delivers. And he turns to the purple hordes in at Perth Stadium and says, how about this? Back to a 7-point deficit. Brisbane are stuck on 5-3-33. Fremantle are 3-8-26. 26 gone in the second term. This is Friday Night Footy, thanks to ABC Sport, wherever you are around the nation, on ABC Radio, News Radio, Sport Digital, and streaming on the ABC Listen app. Our experts, Peter Bell and Sharad Wellingham.
And it's a good call from Sharad Wellingham. This time it's Brisbane who are starting to do the panic things on the field, and Fremantle have lived. They've had territory, and there was a bit more composure with the way that moved. It wasn't perfect, and big games, it can't always be perfect. You just got to get territory and give your teammates some sort of advantage if you possibly can, and that's what Fremantle are doing right now.
Andrew Brayshaw's first goal since round 15 comes at a timely moment for the Knockers. Sarong getting to work. He snaps it out of the middle to right half forward. Tracy had to wait under it. Lester was good. Knocked it down and in the end robed his own ball. The high kick up the wing though favours Sean Darcy. Couldn't take the mark. Little handball to Sarong. The quick kick forward. Lands on the chest of Tracy. Wanted a 50-metre penalty. Didn't come. Instead, Tracy kicks it inside the forward 50. Jackson being held, no whistle. Down at ground level, Gardner for the Lions. Looping handball across the face of goal. Berry almost run down, gets the kick away in the nick of time. Pearce for the Dockers, tapped it down. Shark by Will Ashcroft, loses the ball. Jordan Clark takes it for Fremantle. Kick inside the forward 50 and Berry takes the mark and will just slow things down. Calm head on his shoulders for the Lions. He goes inside defensive 50 to Archie. Behind the ball, kicks it out towards left half back where Zorko can receive and run. Just gets the kick away. Up the southern side into the path of Leicester.
What a kick from Zorko. That was unbelievable.
Bullet.
Leicester, handballs to the runner coming past him. Dunkley who can go to half forward where Hitwood marks. 52 from home. Has a player running over the top in the pocket. McCluggage. Terrific courage. Dropping back in front of Chapman, the incoming defender. And Hugh McCluggage stands tall, takes the mark, and can go back and have the set shot from a very tight angle in the left forward pocket.
There was a question mark that I raised over McCluggage, but he's still having an impact today, but not that run and carry and really clean disposal that we've become so accustomed to seeing, but he's still having an impact.
Hugh McCluggage, one of their leaders at the Lions. Drop punt from the tight angle is across the face, off hands. Line of score, 5-4-34 the Lions. Fremantle, 3-8-26, 29 minutes played in the second term Friday night footy on ABC Sport.
Bombers by 6 points, 13 gone in the final term over the Saints at the Docklands. Remember, the Lions at one stage led by 25 points. That was at the 18-minute mark of this term. It's now an 8-point advantage their way. They win the ball at right half forward. Berry tries to get a short hand pass to Rayner. He's tackled immediately.
It's a tough one there because the ball was bobbling around and he got his hands back on it and then disposed of the ball. I think if it had have come free, it would have been a free kick against.
Darcy won it down to Will Ashcroft, kicked straight into traffic to Erasmus. Got it back to the Dockers. Sarong, who with a clearing kick goes to the wing. And that is half-time. And the Dockers will go into it full of confidence after kicking the final 3 goals of that term. As I mentioned, Brisbane by 25 points at the 18-minute mark of the second term. They'd kicked the game's first 5 goals. Fremantle have kicked the next 3. 2 off the boot of Josh Tracy. The most recent from Andrew Brayshaw. Brisbane's goals, 2 to Zach Bailey. Singles to Leicester, Cameron and Morris. It was a 15-point lead to Brisbane at quarter time. It is an 8-point lead to Brisbane at half time. But the Dockers are right back in this contest. Just repeating again. Score at the Docklands. Bombers by 6. 10-8-68 to 9-8-62. The Saints, who have just added another behind. So Bombers by 5. St Kilda 9-9-63. 15 minutes gone in the final term. But here, after a slow start, the Dockers have fought their way back into the match. Let's get the thoughts of our experts. Premiership players, both of them. Peter Bell and Sharad Wellingham.
Well, whether it was a case of Brisbane just
starting hot.
Yeah, and then just losing that little bit of energy and Fremantle lifting as well, but it changed It changed the context of the game.
Contest changed massively,
very
didn't it?
quickly in that second quarter, and then Josh Tracy delivered, didn't he? He missed a couple of shots to start the game, but Fremantle was searching for that player who understood the moment and what the game demanded, and they found it in Josh Tracy. And I do find it fascinating that Sarong, Tracy, Pearce all involved in that little discussion, and they all came out and had big influence in that second quarter. So game is much more on an even keel. Fremantle had to respond. They did, and it's been an entertaining contest.
It has been really entertaining. I feel like Brisbane were still able to, in patches, move the ball far too easily, and that's reflected in their uncontested possession once again. For that quarter, it was still 60-38 in favour of Brisbane, so they're still able to find the ball in a free person's hands. It wasn't quite as damaging as it was in the first quarter, but that was off the back of Fremantle setting up so much better defensively and forcing Brisbane, when they were able to put that frontal pressure, those haphazard kicks like we spoke about that we didn't see at all in the first quarter, did we? It was just non-event, just did not happen. And so they'll take some confidence from that they'll know that if they put enough pressure when they get it in their forward half, Brisbane are susceptible to that pressure and will be able to turn it over.
Yeah, clearly there's a template that Brisbane came into the game and wanted to deliver, and they're plus 62 for uncontested possession. And what's that, plus 59?
Yeah.
Is it 59? In uncontested marks as
51?
well. In marks, 51,
Yep.
beg your pardon. Whatever the number is, it's
high.
significant, and it's a huge differential, and big numbers for Brisbane as far as disposals. Fletcher's been in everything with 21, McCluggage 16, Zorko 15, Berry 15, Bailey 15, and he's kicked 2 goals too. Sarong was brilliant in that second quarter. He almost willed his team back into it alongside Josh Tracy, and we've been talking about the development of their leadership this year, and that second quarter was another example.
You can see just in the reflection, 21 disposals to Fletcher, only 145 metres gained. So that is their template of just really trying to go sideways along that back half, and 10 marks. So every time he gets it, he's looking laterally and trying to open up that midfield for Zorko, who on the other hand has had the 15 touches, 12 kicks, 300 metres gained. So as soon as they get into Zorko's hands, that's when they want to take that opportunity and get the ball forward. And as we've seen, some of his kicks have been spectacular tonight.
And within all of that, and very much Brisbane's plan of uncontested mark, the interesting bit is Fremantle at 27-25, so plus 2 for inside 50s. So they've actually got a lot of inside 50s. They've marked the ball inside 50, 7 compared to Brisbane's 3. They just weren't able to capitalise early, but they're getting their looks, but it's just been a bit more panicked until that second quarter.
Which is amazing. At one stage in the first quarter, it was 14-5 inside 50s. Freo just couldn't get it anywhere near their forward 50.
Weren't able to slow them down, weren't able to put any frontal pressure, and I suppose that lateral movement that they were using, it's like we said, Belly, it's really tiring, getting drawn out, chasing your opponent all the way out to the wing, and then all of a sudden they go back the other way and you're chasing again. But the Brisbane players were able to do it in a way that they kind of all stay connected, almost in like a swarm of bees that were just moving around, and Fremantle trying to set up defensively, we're just getting dragged in and out of position. So really hard and like we said, tiring. And so when they got their hands on the ball, you've got no tickets to go offensively, and then you don't move for each other. Makes it really hard when you're getting drawn out like that, doesn't it, Belly?
It does. I did feel at moments, though, when the ball was in more sort of general play, if you like, Brisbane, fierce front line of pressure, but if you work your way through that, it just opened up. There was plenty of space, there were free players, and I thought that was something that Fremantle might be able to exploit in this second half. We know that they're a hard running team, and so if you take the game at Brisbane, so straight at them, and you can break that first line of pressure, it can really open up for you.
There's almost, it looks like, a little bit of a gap in between their defensive system, because they have got an extra back. So a lot of the time, if they do go long from that contest, Brisbane are manufacturing an extra at that deep contest. So they've almost got to break through, and like you said, Belly, it's opening up. But if they can retain possession and link up through handball, and then have a forward come at them, it'll become really open because there is that space behind the contest.
It's the game that we hope for.
Certainly is.
After a little misfire early doors, all of a sudden, this is developing into an absolute beauty. Brisbane 5-4-34, Fremantle 3-8-26. Another score check for you at the Docklands. 20 minutes gone in the final term. It's the Bombers by 4 points, 10-8-68 to the Saints 9-10-64. We'll keep you right across that. Come back with all the stats and read out a few of your text messages as well if you'd like to send us one. 0437 774 774. But wherever you're listening, this is Friday Night Footy on ABC Sport. Let us pause and take the latest from the ABC newsroom.
Sarah Hall with ABC News. Experts say closing loopholes in the Working with Children check system is only a first step in fixing the childcare industry. States and territories will begin sharing information to prevent people banned in one jurisdiction from working elsewhere by the end of the year. Professor Leah Bromfield from the Australian Centre for Child Protection says the change is welcome, but warns broader systemic reforms are still needed.
I see this as only a minimum step, and we can't see working with children checks as a magic bullet that makes people a safe person. It only detects people who have already committed a crime. So absolutely necessary to close that loophole, but there is still more to do.
The UN Human Rights Office says Israel's decision to build a new settlement is illegal under international law. Here's Sarah Amir.
Israel's far-right Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich, who is sanctioned by Australia over accusations of inciting violence against Palestinians in the West Bank, says he will build close to 3,500 homes for Israeli settlers to divide the Palestinian territory. He says the plan aims to bury the idea of a Palestinian state by splitting the Israeli-occupied West Bank from East Jerusalem. The UN is warning that the settlement will put Palestinians at risk of forced eviction, which it describes as a war crime. The Palestinian Authority says the decision is a colonial, expansionist and racist move.
Israel hasn't immediately commented. Alaskans say they wish Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky was attending a summit between the American and Russian leaders. Donald Trump has threatened severe consequences if Vladimir Putin doesn't agree to a truce in Ukraine and has flouted meeting with Mr. Zelensky almost immediately if the summit goes well. Pro-Ukraine demonstrators have marched in Anchorage ahead of the talks, which are due to take place overnight. Mariah joined the demonstrations and says she's doubtful the talks will lead to peace.
America can help, but Trump has failed again and again, and he's insulted Zelensky so many times. It's just, are we really going to make any progress with Putin, who hasn't even bothered to show up for so many other instances?
Dozens of people have been arrested in Washington after President Donald Trump took over the US Capitol's police department. The White House says 29 of the 45 people that have been arrested were reportedly living in America illegally. Local and federal law enforcement officers are being stationed around the clock after Mr. Trump announced he'll send in the National Guard for at least the next month. The UN's Environment Chief says disappointed that delegates meeting in Geneva have failed to reach consensus on the world's first legally binding treaty to tackle plastic pollution. The over 1,000 attendees had been looking for a breakthrough in the deadlocked United Nations talks, but states pushing for an ambitious treaty say the latest text has failed to meet their expectations. Executive Director of the UN Environment Programme, Inga Anderson, says she won't stop working for a treaty.
I think at this point, obviously, it's very clear that we did not arrive where we wanted to arrive, but I also believe that everybody came here with the intention to get the deal done. However, it is clear that we are living in an era of significant political complexity, economic challenges, and obviously multilateral complexity.
A Melbourne artist whose work highlights the experience of Indigenous youth in the criminal justice system has been awarded the National Photographic Portrait Prize. Hoda Afshar has been recognised for her work depicting young First Nations people in Cairns who had their portraits taken while they were using a variety of objects to conceal their identities. It's the second time Ms. Afshar has won the prize, awarded by the National Portrait Gallery in Canberra. Carlton midfielder Sam Walsh is set to make his return in tomorrow's AFL clash against Port Adelaide. The 25-year-old has endured an injury-hit season and has not played since round 13 due to a foot injury. Coach Michael Voss has confirmed Walsh will play managed minutes at Docklands tomorrow afternoon.
You know, he's been scratching at my door trying to get that opportunity with. I think it's just a great sign when you've got one of your leaders that wants to see it through and wants to get out there and be a part of it and be energised by, you know, some of the things he's seen with the way we're playing.
And Sunshine Coast Lightning captain Steph Fretwell has announced her retirement from elite competition. For more news at any time, you can download the ABC Listen app.
The summer of cricket has arrived early.
Clubs it straight down the ground for 6. He's on the pull shot. Boy, did he get that!
White ball cricket takes centre stage in the top end as Australia take on South Africa.
Shout for leg before, finger goes up!
And it's on now on the ABC Listen.
Down the pitch, there we go! Bang!
Every ball live. Just click on the cricket button. This is the 2025 AFL Premiership season on ABC Sport.
Hands it to Wilmot, in space at left half forward. 55 out from goal, kicks towards full forward. Morris went out, couldn't quite mark. Spills down again. Oh, Bailey! That's incredible! Over his head, a stunning goal! Zach Bailey, he does kick truly special majors. And that was magnificent. Cross half back, he found Fletcher, hand pass forward. Only his Farbo was Wagner. He could kick Fremantle inside forward, 50, and that's a good mark to Tracy. Here comes Tracy from right in front. That noise will tell the story. Fremantle have their opening goal of the game, and it comes at the 19-minute mark of the second term.
They've just got to stay in touch and then they can reset again. Brisbane have been exceptional in the first half to this point.
Starts in line with the left hand behind post. Tracy will kick from 48 outs. It's on its way. He's got two. The Dockers have got back-to-back majors. And at the 22-minute mark of the second term, in a game that Brisbane have absolutely dominated, their lead, though, is now only 13 points. Looking to kick a third unanswered goal, Fremantle. Brayshaw delivers. And he turns to the Purple Horde and says, how about this?
This is ABC Sports coverage of the AFL.
On your radio.
ABC Sport Digital.
And on the ABC Listen app.
We're watching some highlights on the big screen here of Nat Fyfe announcing his retirement this week. The Fremantle great, if not their greatest. Dual Brownlow medalist, of course. A three-time Doig medalist. And also once an All-Australian captain. And the whole place has just gone quiet to the tunes of My Way, been echoing around the stadium, and plenty of memories up on the big screen at this point in time. It's almost enough to make even a highly cynical man like myself a bit emotional. There were some great memories there. Peter Bell's alongside Sharad Wellingham, our experts tonight. Clint Wilden with Mitch Turner. We'll have some of the numbers for you, but I did promise we'd read out a couple of text messages, and thanks very much from those who've sent them in. I do love this one. Greg from, I can't pronounce that, from South Greenland. Good on you, Greg. I have said in the past, just text in from where you'd like to be texting in from, rather than where you happen to be.
Always a good game.
I love it. Don't worry, Freo only seem to want to play the fourth quarter. Well, we've seen that at times this year that they do play it very well. Rick from Margaret River, who is really good by sending us a text and the odd letter too. Hello, team. Breathing deeply along with tens of thousands, probably including Mitch Turner, who's too professional to show it at the moment. Why are we subjected to hot knives through butter and then having to depend on a recently adopted miraculous comeback? It's been great work. Well, sometimes that's the way Freo like to go about things. Stephen, who is on a plane halfway between Ghana and the United States. A worrying start in my hope for a step towards a Fife and Freo fairy tale. Thanks for your awesome coverage. Thank you for texting in, Stephen. And that is an interesting place to be, on a plane halfway between Ghana and the United States. Dave and Greg are listening to the call on the ABC app while camping south of Warwick in Cullendore. There's no one around for kilometres. It's great and calm so far. Go the Lions. Let's go for another GF. That was amazing last year, the grand final won by the Brisbane Lions as well. It was tremendous. Thanks very much for you who got involved. 0437 774 774. Put your teeth back in, Clint. It's also a close one, just an 8-point margin here, but a close one at the Docklands. Half an hour gone in the final term. The Saints are leading by 3, 11-11-77 to the Bombers 11-8-74. It is oh so tight at this point in time. Mitch Turner's got some of the other numbers in front of him. Mitch, what do they tell you?
I was just looking up Jasper Fletcher's career-high disposals because it's 27 and he has 21 in the first half, Jasper Fletcher. He leads all comers individually. Hugh McCluggage has 16 for the Lions as well, 15 to Zorko, Jared Berry and Zach Bailey, 14 for Will Ashcroft. For the Dockers, 16 to Caleb Sarong, 13 for Jordan Clark, 9 Erasmus, then Josh Tracy and Murphy Reid with 8 apiece. For the team stats, the contested possession count is locked at 60 apiece, but the uncontested possession heavily favouring the Lions, 137 to 75. The inside 50s, would you believe it, have swung Fremantle's way, 27 to 25. The hitouts 20 to 9 in the Dockers' way. The clearances 15 apiece, and the tackle count 23 to Brisbane, 16 to the Dockers. And some people care about this. The free kick count is 10 to 8 in favour of the home side. The stat that matters most, though, Brisbane are 5-4-34. Fremantle are 3-8-26 at half-time, a margin of 8 points.
Not expecting the mark rate to continue in the second half, but the all-time record, I think, is 170 for marks in a game, which are held by the Bulldogs and Fremantle from a while ago. Just to give you an indication of 80.5 is a lot, which is what Brisbane have managed to do in that first half.
I thought you were going to say it's 109 the total marks for the match, and Brisbane have 80 of them. So it's heavily one-sided, isn't it? Even in that second quarter.
It is. But I suppose what Fremantle might say is that the kick mark hasn't been always, particularly in that second quarter, meant territory gain as well.
Let them have it.
They've sort of let them have it a bit more, and okay, eventually we'll force you down the line, and then hopefully we can win a few contests and then come back at Brisbane, and that happened a little bit, but most of all it was a bit of clearance work. 7-2 out of the centre for Fremantle in the first half, so that got them a bit more territory, and they just needed to convert, and finally Josh Tracy was able to do that. 4 goals from Brisbane from turnover. Fremantle have kicked 1 goal, 5 from stoppage. Now, normally that's a big score source from Fremantle, so they've had their looks, but the conversion costs them again. So it'll be interesting to see if that pattern continues for both sides in this second half. And also, sorry, Shaz, just watching those highlights at half-time with Nat Fyfe, you just wonder, what impact he might have on the game when he comes into it. If there was a script there from a Fremantle point of view, he'd have a big impact and help them over the line.
That would have been the messaging from Justin Longmuir and the Fremantle coaching that, yes, let them have it, let them chip it around. They're not damaging with it. They're not actually hurting us with it in terms of territory. So we'll allow them to have it. And that probably stopped them getting drawn around and tiring themselves out, which you could tell in the first quarter they were just going everywhere. And so they've gone, all right, we're getting it inside 50 enough times. Let's just capitalise and make sure that when we do get it in there, we get reward for our effort.
It's almost like they set you up sideways and back with those kicks, looking for that 45 or that lofted kick through the corridor, and maybe that's what Justin Longmuir meant by own the corridor, guys.
Third quarter about to start. The Lions over the Dockers by 8 points. Here's Mitch Turner for you on ABC Sport.
Freo fans trying to lift their side to start this second half. The umpire bounces on the spot and then bounces the footy straight into the turf. Fort v Sean Darcy. Both tapped it down to their feet. Coming through McCluggage. Got the handball to the run of Wilmot. Off of half-back. Takes the bounce. Kicks under pressure. Out towards left half forward. Reveal coming one way. Cameron coming the other. It bounces between both of them. And goes out of bounds at the junction at left half forward. Graham Farmer, freeway end of the attacking end for the Brisbane Lions this quarter. They kicked 3 goals to zip when they kicked this way in the first term. Ball spun back in. Sean Darcy tapped it down into the path, though, of Bailey. Taken in a tackle, went to ground, got it to McCluggage by hand, then to Dunkley, now Fort. Kicks the Lions deep into attack. Pearce one-on-one wrestling for the Dockers. He was grabbed by Hipwood. It's a free kick going to the Dockers captain at the top of his defensive goal square. Having a solid game.
Yeah, nervous start, but really settled into the game, much like his team.
Plays on, runs into the right back pocket, kicks up the broadcast swing. Darcy was held in front of the Dockers to win the free kick. It is confusing. It's Sean Darcy, Darcy Fort. Now it's going the other way.
Coming back to Harris Andrews.
Yeah.
So
Voss doing the job on him, and he's being very conscious of him. He's not having a huge impact, but obviously just a little bit too tight.
So the Lions skipper kicks into the pocket. Big grab taken by Darcy Fort, who as soon as he saw the umpire toss the ball the other way, he just took off running forward and has taken a strong mark in the left forward pocket.
Well, it was clever, wasn't it? Because Sean Darcy was back expecting that he was the beneficiary of the free kick, and Fort dashed forward, and what a terrific contested mark.
3 goals for the season, shouldering the ruck load at the moment. He is a premiership ruckman, Darcy Fort. Set shot, tight angle, straight through the middle. Darcy Fort gets his first goal, and the Lions open up the second half with a major. 6-4-40 Brisbane. Fremantle 3-8-26. Margin out to 14 points. Friday night footy on ABC Sport. Our experts are Sharon Wellingham and Peter Bell. Before we hear from them, Bridget Lacey on the boundary.
Yeah, I kept a close eye on Nat Fyfe at halftime when they came back out for the warm-up. Obviously, we have seen him not get through the warm-up previously, but he does look good. He's stayed in the tracksuit, but he has got the footy boots on now, which he didn't have earlier. So he looks good to come into it whenever he is needed. And Brisbane also yet to activate their sub, Luke Beacon, still sitting at the back of the bench.
Full time at the Docklands. The Saints by 2 points, 11-11-77 to the Bombers, 11-9-75. The Saints have won 4 straight. The Bombers have now lost 11 in a row. How will Ross be post-games? The biggest question out of all of that. Both rucks have a go. Fought with probably the more telling tap. Bailey looks to soccer it forward. Rayner harassed off it by Warner. Hand pass to no one in particular. Rayner happy to receive it. Got it back to McCluggage for the Lions. The kick will go inside forward 50. Good mark. Floating across Cox. He would have known Pearce was attacking the football as well. Brendan Cox for the Dockers takes the grab in the right back pocket. He'll play on by hand to Ryan. Long kick beyond defensive 50 towards commentary wing. No mark taken. Voss was in front. Spill down out the back in the direction of Frederick. He's locked up in a good tackle by Dunkley. Ball up the call.
He's obviously very conscious, Voss, of Andrews. That's his job, but he may have to disguise his efforts a little bit better, or he might infringe again.
Fort won it down. He's been terrific. Bailey looks to soccer it forward again. Goes past Ryan. Morris got it onto Archie. Slung in a tackle. Hand pass out to Rayner. Broke the attempted tackle of Brayshaw. Goes towards goal. He was far too strong. Cam Rayner punches the air in delights as he gives the Lions 2 goals to open the third term. Brisbane out to 20 points. Goals at the 3rd minute to Fort, and then to Rayner in the 5th minute. And Brisbane all of a sudden a 7-4-46 to the Dockers 3-8-26 on ABC Sport.
That's just a massive case of attacking outnumber. Rayner started that contest up on the wing, and the ball started bobbling forward, and he's just kept going without a Fremantle opponent there to match him. As you see on the replay now, he almost had first hands on it at that clearance.
Yeah, Bailey involved with the soccer, and look, Andy Brayshaw would like his time again. Rayner's a hard man to stop, but Brayshaw prides himself on his tackling prowess. Rayner got the better of him on that occasion for a costly result from a Fremantle perspective.
Missed the tackle, Landry Brayshaw. He'll be fired up at this centre bounce. Darcy taps it down into the path of Luke Jackson, tapping it the wrong way. Bailey gathered it, handballed it straight to Sarong. The Dockers go now through Chapman. Out to Brayshaw, little chip out to the commentary wing in the front of the path of Erasmus, who gathered and chipped short to Murphy Reid. Takes the mark, chips inboard to centre wing, where Chapman can take the mark. Numbers starting to flood back in front of him inside Brisbane's defensive 50. He's got not a lot of options. Now he decides to bomb it inside attacking 50. Big pack flies. Sean Darcy had a big piece of it. Paid the mark. Well, he owes one to Darcy Ford, who got him at the other end. And almost the exact opposite angle. This one from the right forward pocket. Sean Darcy will have a chance to return the favour.
Terrific mark from Darcy, and yeah, took it personally. Big Darcy Fort getting forward on him, so can he convert like Darcy Fort did at the other end?
Anything you can do, I can do just half as much, maybe a sixth as much. He hits the post and gets 1 point instead of 6. Another miss for the Dockers, 3-9-27 they are. Brisbane a 7-4-46, 19-point margin. He ruined it, Sean.
Sort of remind everyone again, it's one rushed behind from the Dockers, 9 behinds. As the Brisbane Lions go beyond their defensive 50, Jackson in front of the wing, got taken high. Now, Brayshaw had stepped forward, so he was told he'd taken advantage. Had to go quickly back to Wagner, sends it inside forward 50. Good mark out there by Wilmot, shares it around through Bailey. A chance to build up again. This is Marshall, and now to Day. Sam Day, the former Sun, takes the mark left half back and goes across half back for another disposal to be added to Fletcher's tally. He'll be up to 22 when he moves this on. Still between left half back and centre half back. He'll go on a short run towards the middle of the ground and then kick to the outer side. Amos has done well. I know he's taken high, so he'll have the free kick. He won it down anyway, attacking the football. He'll move it on by foot to Banfield. Banfield runs towards left half forward, heads in the direction of Voss. It bounced in front of him, did well to gather, gave it back to Wagner for the Dockers, to Banfield again, about a metre in from the boundary, 60 out from goal, and he's put it over and out of bounds on the full. Free kick to the Lions in the right back pocket. Brisbane a 7-4-46, the Dockers 3-9-27, 7 gone in the third term.
So Brisbane with ball in hand again. Right half back, Darcy Wilmot kind of telegraphing the little kick inside to Starcevic, who marks it about 40 metres out from his own goal. They really want to switch at Brisbane, but the Dockers have got it shut off. So instead, goes down the wing to Brendan Starcevic and just over the outstretched hand of Sean Darcy. Able to mark was Archie, who can go inboard by foot to Levi Ashcroft. Has Wilmot, who continued running. Marks inside the centre square. Again, they want to switch play, the Lions. This time they do. Wilmot comes wide, commentary side to Fletcher. Goes short to Marshall. Gathers and plays on quickly. Kicks towards left half forward, and all of that ends in an Alex Pearce mark. Right half back for the Dockers, and the captain can go short to Cox. Not a great kick. Punched away by Gardner. The Dockers under pressure now. Pearce has to follow up the work and save them. Takes the tackle. Gets a handball away to Wagner. Now to Reid. All of a sudden, defence becomes attack. Erasmus. Handball forward to Bolton. Takes the bounce. Forward of the wing. Handball over the top to Luke Jackson on the pace of 50. Inside. O'Meara. 35 out. Banana on goal. Misses.
You just can't be butchering those types of opportunities. Will it cost Fremantle, but that needed to be a goal.
3-10-28, the Dockers, 7-4-46, the Lions, 9 played in the third.
It's slightly frustrating, but it was probably the most convincing passage of play in terms of run and carry from Fremantle.
Kick for the Lions comes towards the wing. One here by Morris, and he goes bursting through, takes a bounce, and then a second, still going, almost run down by Clark. But he'll kick long towards full forward. He'll miss. Cameron was in his goal square, but it went to the right of him and through for a minor score. 7-5-47 the Lions. 3-10-28 the Dockers. 9 gone in the third.
Luke Ryan takes a little leisurely trot outside of the defensive goal square. Chips it short to Brennan Cox, who can go further afield on that southern side beyond left half back to O'Meara. Chandra O'Meara, quiet night. Disposal number 7 coming up for him. Kicks it down the southern side to centre wing. Jackson flew high, was held. Free kick, Fremantle. Luke Jackson with ball in hand on centre wing. Kick is a terrible one. Kicked it straight to Jared Berry, who chops it off the lines, goes inboard to Bailey. Inside the centre square, chips it to centre wing, and Sam Day can mark, and handball to the run of Will Ashcroft. Now by hand to Andrews. Flicks it on to McCluggage, who spears the ball to right half forward. And Archie takes the mark, the West Aussie. Now a premiership Lion. weighing up his options. Archie kicks it long. Inside attacking 50. Big fist from behind. Spills down to Morris, who takes it over the boundary line.
I think he's been paid the mark.
No, he hasn't. That cannot be a mark, can it? He has paid the mark. Logan Morris paid the mark in the right forward pocket. And now you imagine that's the descent from the Fremantle Dockers, because he's marched from the tight angle at the right forward pocket to the top of the goal square, and will have a chance to restore that game-high lead of 25 points for Brisbane. Taking some seconds off the clock, the Dockers are rattled. Logan Morris casually pumps it into the second tier. He's got his second, and the margin is back out to 25 points. Once again, Fremantle are looking shell-shocked. 8-5-53 the Lions, 3-10-28 the Dockers. 12 minutes into the third term, Peter Bell and Sharrod Wellingham.
Well, I've been guessing as to who the dissent was against, but it takes it from a 50-50 kind of shot to an absolute certainty, and you combine that with the Brennan Cox infringement where Brisbane trotted the ball 100 metres down the ground.
That's a really poor 50-metre penalty.
Yeah. Say that. Because it was against Banfield for being inside the area.
And he was standing next to a Brisbane Lion player.
Yeah.
Gee, that's costly. Big welcome to our listeners around the rest of the nation joining us here at Perth Stadium. Brisbane have got a game equal high 25-point lead, 12 minutes into the third. And the restart in the middle after the line just got a goal. Second to Morris after a 50-metre free kick in the right forward pocket. Kick it towards right half forward. Here's Cameron up against Banfield. Cameron tries twice to gather. Might have been infringed by Banfield. Dockers will emerge with it though. Warner hand passes forward to Sarong. He'll move it by hand. This is O'Meara onto Switkowski. Now to Brayshaw. Jackson run down. Pressure came from Dunkley. Jackson just got the kick away. Zorko tried to move it to Starcevic. Frederick got there first. Moved it to Switkowski. Jackson, beautiful hand pass on towards Frederick. Runs inside forward 50. Kick towards full forward. Boss went up. Couldn't mark. Pressure came from Berry on the ground. Hand pass to Lester. Goes back by hand to Gardner. And his defensive goal square. Kicks in the right back pocket. Jackson brought it to ground. Frederick again. Throws it on the boots. Misses to the left. A minor score despite the roar of the crowd. Incredibly, Fremantle are 3-11-29 and 10 of those are genuine off-the-boot behinds. The Lions are 8-5-53, 14 gone in the third. Downstairs in just a moment.
Brave kick down the middle, marked by Lester. Handball off to Bailey. End-to-end footy from the Lions. The kick perfect for Cameron. That was like a flash of lightning through Perth Stadium. And Charlie Cameron will have the set shot from 35 metres out at tight angle. That was quick from Brisbane.
And off the back of two massive contests. The mark in the midfield corridor. I can't even recall who it was, but then the quick hands out the back. Cameron's just read it so quickly, and Banfield unable to stay with him once he's made that decision to get forward as fast as possible.
Has won tonight, Charlie Cameron. Has had a quiet season for a two-time All-Australian and a four-time leading goal kicker. Back in Western Australia, Charlie Cameron can't finish off the work. He misses to the right. 8-6-54 Brisbane, 3-11-29 Fremantle, 25-point margin. Bridget Lacey downstairs.
It'll be cold comfort right now, but Fremantle told us they have set a new record non-derby crowd. The final figure will be at three-quarter time, but it is a record, we're told.
Ball across half-back for the Dockers. Sarong moves it on to Clark. The kicks to Frederick, the 100-gamer tonight. He marks and plays on immediately. Bounces in front of Jackson. Hand pass to Brayshaw inside forward 50. Not a great hand pass back to Jackson. Might have been held without it by Dunkley. Umpire says play on. Marshall gathered for the Lions. Sent it towards the outer wing. Kicked forward by Day towards the logo. Rayner went to ground, and that'll be a free kick. It's a holding decision against Warner. Rayner will bounce up with the footy.
Really poor skill execution from Fremantle. They just burned a certain goal
Burned a few of those tonight. Kick towards right half forward, and the mark's taken by Day. Has it for the Lions about 55 from goal. 2 or 3 metres in from the boundary. Kick goes in the right forward pocket. Pearce coming back with the flight. Punches it over the boundary line for a throw-in. Just beside the attacking goal. The Lions heading to the left of our broadcast position in the third term. There's an enormous roar on the screen. They're watching Nat Fyfe here warming up. He's the sump for the Dockers. Announced that he'll be retiring at the end of the season earlier this week. From the throw-in, Jackson went underneath it, nudged out of it by Fort. Bailey got a hand pass away to no one in particular. It's still there to be won. Inside forward 50 for Brisbane. Clint Wilden alongside Mitch Turner in commentary. Our experts Peter Bell and Sharad Wellingham on ABC Sport. Bridget Lacey downstairs for us tonight. As the ball comes out the back for the Lions from the restart, Rayner worked it on to Will Ashcroft, snapped around the body and misses left. They're peppering away Brisbane. 8-7-55 the Lions, 3-11-29 the Dockers. It's a game-high lead of 26 points. 17 minutes gone in the third.
Clark with the kick-out duties for Fremantle. Goes long to the wing. Fort knocks it down for the Lions to Fletcher. Handball inside to Zorko. Dangerous kick across the ground. It's a terrific one. Starcevic can mark. Play on. Inside 50. Levi Ashcroft can't mark. Knocks away by Brayshaw. Pearce's handball went into trouble. O'Meara grabbed it. He was tackled. Now Will Ashcroft's in there. Rips it away. He's tackled by Wagner. Ball up 55 metres out from the Lions attacking goal. Fort v Jackson. Fort taps it down to Levi Ashcroft. Quick kick off a step around his body inside 50. Hipwood can't mark. Charlie Cameron at ground level. Bounces it to himself. Trying to get a kick away. Dropped it holding the ball. It was almost a special goal. He tapped it to himself basketball style and then just couldn't get the kick away. Dropped the ball. And Jordan Clark will win the free kick for Fremantle. Deep in defence. Will go to the right back pocket where Luke Ryan can mark and then go inboard to the middle of the 50 where Banfield has it.
Banfield sees an option on short, stabs the pass to Wagner. Back in the team this week after missing a couple due to heel soreness. Wagner will send the ball long towards the outer wing. Frederick couldn't mark. One to ground here by Gardner. Spilled out though to Amira for the Dockers to Tracy. Hand pass was to no one in particular. And only Lyons there. Reville picks it up. His kick was into O'Meara. Ricochets off him. And at right half forward goes across the boundary line for a throw-in.
There's been a marked difference in basic skill execution between the two sides.
And forward of centre is where it's really breaking down for Fremantle at the moment. They're doing all of their work and getting it there and then just fumbling or dropping marks or
missing kicks.
Darcy against Fort. Darcy wins it down. Kick from Levi Ashcroft. Ricochets away only as far as Starcevic, though. He gave it back to Levi Ashcroft. Kicks up in the air towards right half forward. Banfield flies and he's been paid the mark. Had enough purchase on it before he hit the deck. Gathers the football, gathers his thoughts, and then sends it out towards the boundary to Ryan, who marks it left half back. 8-7-55 the Lions. 3-11-29 the Dockers. 19 gone in the third. Friday night footy on ABC Sport. Here's Mitch Turner.
Here's Jordan Clark with the ball. Has it. Just inside defensive 50. Under pressure. Had nothing to go to. Was pressured as he kicked. And now kicks it out on the full. It's purple panic stations at the moment. Fremantle have no idea what they're doing.
Credit to Brisbane. They've located quickly. They gave no outlet kick for Fremantle. That's what they're looking for. And they create a turnover. Well done, Brisbane.
Dunkley brings the ball back into play where Andrews can mark on the southern side. Gives himself some room. Called to play on. Now kicks up towards right half forward. Day came from behind. Had a couple of cracks at it. Couldn't complete the mark. Ball in congestion. Rayner was clean below his knees. Picked it up. Handball across to a teammate in Marshall. Kicks towards the top of the goal square. No mark taken. Reveal at ground level. Through traffic. Handball to Charlie Cameron. Left foot snap around the body. Might just be a purple dagger. Charlie Cameron gets his second. And the Lions are running away with this game. And have 1 foot back in September to defend their title. 9-7-61 Brisbane. 3-11-29 Fremantle, 32-point margin, 21 played in the second half. Bridget Lacey is on the boundary for ABC Sport.
Yeah, Logan Morris just making his way back onto the ground now, but he did come off after kicking that goal looking pretty sore. He went down to the rooms with the physio, but looks to be okay to continue. And as you saw, Nat 5 is warming up down in the room, so we could see him very soon.
4 goal to zip. Third quarter, it's been dominant from Brisbane.
And clean inside their forward 50.
Clean
that
and
collection,
tough.
Yeah, just polar opposites once again.
Charlie Cameron gone goalless for the past 3 games. He's got 2 tonight. And the new record high, as Mitch told you, of 32 points on the scoreboard in favour of the Lions over the Dockers. 22 gone in this third term. Fremantle have never come back from a deficit of greater than 3 goals at three-quarter time. They've got a bit of work to do, the Dockers, right now. Darcy wins it down. Bursting away is Bolton. Kicks Fremantle towards full forward. Tracy Marks plays on. Leicester! What a goal-saving tackle. The ball spilled free and the Lions could rush it across for a minor score. Tracy didn't know that Leicester was right there, and Brisbane immediately will come up the corridor to be marked there by Jasper Fletcher. He'll put it out towards Archie. Goodness me. They rushed it across the line, but Tracy didn't realise the tackle was coming. Leicester never gave it up. And Brisbane out towards left half back, and they'll start the build again. Now Fort marks, and he's got it on the commentary wing.
Has the ball in hand, big ruck, spins it in his fingers, chips it back to Harris Andrews. Made him nervous for a moment, but was able to stretch the long arms out and take the mark. Kicks it across his defensive 50. Dunkley can mark. Stepped off his line. Umpire said that's okay. Chips it back towards the defensive side of the centre square to Zorko. Spearing low kick in the middle. Dangerous ball. McCluggage can't take the mark. Switkowski stole it. Tapped it to Murphy Reid. Murphy Reid runs to 50. He needs this to bounce through. It does. And it's a cheer of relief from the Fremantle fans. They finally find another major. 4 goals, 12 the Dockers. 9-7 the Lions. The margin back to 25 points. Murphy Reid with his 23rd goal of the season, coming at the 23-minute mark of the third term.
Well, he took the responsibility there, Reid. He was coming out the front of that contest and saw that there was no one between himself and the goals. Got the perfect bounce, but it was a goal that should have been kicked three plays ago.
Yep, and well done to Sam Switkowski. Brisbane have been picking Fremantle apart with uncontested marks. Switkowski was onto it and he turned it over.
Ends a run of 4 unanswered goals from the Lions. The major off the boot of Murphy Reid. Back in the centre. Darcy against Fort. They lock arms. Darcy won it down, but it went straight to Fort. Then Darcy tackles him into the turf. And gets up, leaning into Fort as he rises off the turf himself. Fingertips from Fort. Pinballs around, eventually comes to the Dockers. Sarong kicks inside forward 50. Tracy thought he was being held. Ball ricocheted away. Wilmot tackled, lost it. Switkowski wrapped up by Fletcher. Spilled out again to Tracy. On to Bolton. Great diving effort. Gardner, great spoil. Spilled out again towards Erasmus. He shoots towards goal. And it's off hands. And across the line for a minor score to the right-hand side. How good again. The spoil coming from Gardner. 4-13-37. That's right, by the way. 4-13-37 the Dockers. 9-7-61 the Lions. 25 gone in the third.
Berry receives the kick out. Steps on the photographer as he goes back. He's taken a long time to take his kick. Now brings it outside defensive 50. Big fist came from behind. Banfield has it tucked up against the boundary line. Dangerous kick inside the forward 50. And once again, Jasper Fletcher takes the mark, chips it across his own goal face, and that'll equal his career high of 27 disposals. We've got a quarter left to play. Ball now in the hands of Marshall. Goes for a run. Kicks it up the southern side. Gardner v Tracy. Tracy knocked it down. Erasmus came through. Handballed it to no one. Ended up going back and getting it himself. His kick's knocked down by Marshall on the southern side. coming through. Will Ashcroft dispossessed. Crowd wanted ball, play on. And eventually his handball to Gardner, who is knocked out of bounds. Boundary throw in southern side of the ground, slightly favouring the Dockers attacking end, but they trail by 24 points late in this third term.
Huge crowd. They've turned up in big numbers, the Freo faithful. Their team hasn't delivered as yet. Thrown in again, Ford at the back, won it down, but roving through Brayshaw. Kicks quickly inside forward 50. Archie, defensive mark at the back. Had it at fullback and goes to Wilmot. Stabbing it short. Between fullback and the right back pocket. Steer it out towards Zorko. He's right up against the boundary line. And the right back pocket for the Brisbane Lions. It's plenty of advice to move it on from the Freo fans. We'll do so towards right half back. Rayner flew, couldn't mark. Spills down, trying to get it away. Dunkley handing it off to him. Berry to Dunkley, now to Rayner. Broke the tackle, got the hand pass to McCluggage. Awkward bounce, but he's able to regather. Sends it inside forward, 50. Reveal marks. 48 out from goal, hard up against the boundary right forward pocket.
Just felt like when Fremantle forced Brisbane along down the line, they managed to win more than their fair share of critical contests and take the ball into dangerous territories, even from that situation. They're just really well organised at those long down the line contests.
And post that, their ability to
tie it off,
to just soak up the pressure.
Here comes Reveal, kicking towards goal. This would take something special, almost, but not quite. He misses narrowly to the right-hand side. Had about 90 more disposals, the Lions, at the moment. And on the scoreboard, they're 9-8-62 to 4-13-37. 28 gone in the third. And just recapping, if you've just joined us, the Saints by 2 over the Bombers earlier tonight.
That'll be against Pearce.
Yeah, long kick out to Alex Pearce. 2-on-1 against him, and he just shepherded Wilmot off the footy. So Wilmot will take the free kick. Man on the mark stands about 60 out from goal. He'll wheel around just beyond left half forward. Kicks it into the left forward pocket. Rayner from the side. Had one, had two, completes the mark. Cam Rayner, left forward pocket. He'll have a chance to go around the corner and kick his second goal.
Just had some big moments, Rayner. I think all of the Brisbane players have pretty much. Maybe one or two, but who haven't. But Rayner, we saw him break the Brayshaw tackle for a goal in this quarter, and a big contested mark there, opposed to Bailey Banfield, who didn't jump and compete.
This is right in his wheelhouse. Cam Rayner, he's a man for the moment, and he makes no mistake, and he claps to the Fremantle fans because his second goal has extended the margin again. 10-8-68 Brisbane, 4-13-37. Margin 31 points again, 29 played in the third term. Mitch Turner alongside Clint Wheeldon for ABC Sport. Our experts, Sharad Wellingham and Peter Bell.
You're exactly right, Belly. It's just being able to stand up in those critical moments, whether it be testing a tackle, soaking up that pressure and then offloading to a teammate who's in a lot of space, or what we're seeing from Rayner here just is a willingness to compete in this contest, float across the pack and take a really strong contested mark. It's those critical moments that Fremantle at the moment aren't standing up in.
It's that old rule, isn't it? If your man goes, you've got to go, and Bailey Banfield didn't.
Is that like the Shooter McGavin to the crowd?
A little bit of Shooter McGavin about it.
Yeah, it was a bit. And Cam Rayner, he's got a couple of goals tonight. One down by Darcy, ricochets around. Attempted kick was smothered off Brayshaw's boot by Ashcroft of the Will variety. Spilled out again towards Dunkley. Kicks towards half forward. Off hands. It's down to Warner. He's got it for the Dockers. Hand pass to Wagner. Couldn't take it cleanly under pressure from Berry. Just got it away to Cox. Kicks towards the logo. Commentary wing. Going back to win it down was Fletcher. Voss happy to receive it though. Sweeping hand pass forward for the Dockers to Darcy. And just as it was opening up for Chapman, the siren sounds for three-quarter time. And if the Dockers are to win this, they're going to have to do something they've never done before. And that is win from a margin of 31 points down at three-quarter time. Brisbane 10-8-68 to Fremantle 4-13-37. The Lions by 31. And they look the goods at the moment here in the West. The goal kickers for Brisbane. 2 to Morris, 2 to Rayner, 2 to Cameron, 2 to Bailey. Singles to Fort and to Leicester. While for the Fremantle Dockers, Josh Tracy has a couple. Murphy Reid with one and Andrew Brayshaw the other. 10-8-68 to 4-13-37. Brisbane by 15 points at quarter time, by 8 at the half. They've stormed away to lead by 31 points at three-quarter time. Repeating the result earlier tonight, St Kilda by 2 points over the Bombers. The Saints have won 4 straight. Essendon have lost 11 consecutive games now. And heartbreakingly, I would suggest, for Essendon fans everywhere, they had a chance late when Redmond had the final shot of the match. A bit hurried on the run with a second left. It missed. The Saints hang on. Wherever you're listening on ABC Radio, News Radio and Sport Digital, as we welcome our NRL states on Sports Digital and I'm also streaming on the ABC Listen app. This is Friday Night Footy on ABC Sport.
Hi, I'm Corbin Middlemass.
And I'm Ed Cowan.
He played Test cricket for Australia.
And Ed Cowan gets his first Test match century.
And he commentates the cricket.
Stark tries again. He rocks in straight through him. Together, we're giving you your weekly cricket conversation.
We're pulling apart the biggest stories in the sport and delivering them to you each and every week.
It's called the Grandstand Cricket Podcast. Find it on the ABC Listen app.
This is the 2025 AFL Premiership season on ABC Sport.
Won it down. He's been terrific. Bailey looks to soccer it forward again. Goes past Ryan. Morris got it onto Archie. Slung in a tackle. Hand pass out to Rayner. Broke the attempted tackle of Brayshaw. Goes towards goal. He was far too strong. Cam Rayner punches the air in delights as he gives the Lions 2 goals to open the third term. Brisbane out to 20 points.
Rayner was clean below his knees. Picks it up. Handball across to a teammate in Marshall. Kicks towards the top of the goal square. No mark taken. Reveal at ground level. Through traffic. Handball to Charlie Cameron. Left foot snap around the body. Might just be a purple dagger.
Darcy wins it down. Bursting away is Bolson. Kicks Fremantle towards full forward. Tracy marks, plays on. Leicester! What a goal-saving tackle. The ball spilled free and the Lions could rush it across for a minor score.
Dangerous ball. McCluggage can't take the mark. Switkowski stole it. Tapped it to Murphy Reid. Murphy Reid runs to 50. He needs this to bounce through. It does. This is right in his wheelhouse. Cam Rayner, he's a man for the moment and he makes no mistake and he claps to the Fremantle fans because his second goal has extended the margin again.
The AFLW on your radio, ABC Sport Digital Radio and on the ABC Listen app.
With a quarter to play in the West, Brisbane have got one hand on September action. They lead by 31 points over the Dockers. And I'll steal Bridget Lacey's role for just a second. Nat Fyfe has got the jumper off. He's ready to go downstairs. The super sub who announced his retirement a little bit earlier this week. Let's get the thoughts of our experts, Peter Bell and Sharad Willingham.
Well, I think it's a great time to inject him because, Belly, I was kind of gesturing to you that I think it's time for Jackson to make his way forward and be a presence in that forward 50 line. And he doesn't have to take marks, but he has to be able to create a contest and bring the ball to ground, and then they've got to be clean, the small forwards for Fremantle, because there's nothing that's really clicked down there. And Jackson, the number of times at that centre bounce and post clearance, he's goal side and just getting exposed on the turnover.
And Nat Fyfe, Clint, you might call him the super sub. Well, he's going to have to be Superman if he's going to help Fremantle erase this deficit at the moment, because Brisbane have just been so clinical. 8 goals from turnover in the match, 4 in that quarter alone. And the quarter ended with Heath Chapman streaming through the middle with no pressure. And I reckon on 3 occasions, Fremantle burned opportunities like that in the third quarter, whereas Brisbane were absolutely clinical. So I'm sure if that quarter continued, and I'm not trying to be a smart aleck, Fremantle wouldn't have capitalised following the trend of the quarter.
We know Matthew Pavlich in the past has told the players to put their Superman capes on. Maybe Nat Fyfe can do that as well. Mitch Turner, what do some of the numbers tell us?
Well, he needs to have a pretty big quarter. That's what they tell us. The team stats so far, disposals heavily in favour of Brisbane, 298 to 214. Contested possessions, they edge ahead of the Dockers by 5, but they have 73 more uncontested possessions. The marks 118 to 46. That is a massive number. Inside 50s 48 to 30 Brisbane's way. The clearances 24 to 19 the Brisbane Lions way. Individually, Jasper Fletcher equal career high 27 touches. Zach Bailey 24. Zorko McCluggage 22. The Dockers Caleb Sarong 20. Jordan Clark 17. Neil Erasmus 14. It's the Lions by 31 points. Bridget Lacey downstairs.
Yeah, Corey Wagner's the man who's been subbed out for Nat Fyfe, who's gone straight into the guts for this first centre clearance.
It might be the last time the Purple Army sees Nat Fyfe live, depending on how the rest of the season pans out for the Fremantle Dockers. There's no guarantee they'll be here again throughout the rest of 2025. They'll need absolutely everything to go their way, but it's hard to imagine that Brisbane can be rolled from here. The Lions have been terrific. Start of the final term. Darcy stands alongside Fort. Here's the bounce. And Fort wins it down. It bounces back to him, but Fyfe with the first possession. Stole it away and gave it to Brayshaw. Kicks inside forward 50. Tracy out to it. Ricocheted to Switkowski. Gathered by Erasmus. Poor kick inside forward 50 over the head of Voss. Andrews happy to take the mark for the Lions. He'll go back into the left-back pocket to Starcevic, one of the two premiership players, the defenders back in the Lions team this week. Kick towards the outer wing, scooped up here by Cameron. Pauses for a moment and then kicks towards centre-half forward. McCluggage couldn't mark. Chapman harassed him out of it. Chapman then will gather in his defensive 50. Goes back to Banfield and then he'll steer it all the way back to Cox, who marks at left full-back.
Wants to take it back out, that outer side again. Cox, he kicks it beyond defensive. The O'Meara got the fist in over the top of Cameron, but he dragged him down illegally. Free kick Lions. Cameron goes quick, inside 50 to McCluggage. And Josh Tracy is standing out on this side, screaming, "Why were you not looking in my direction?" As he was all alone. Instead, Hugh McCluggage has a chance for his first goal. From outside 50, 45-degree angle to the left. This will make it very hard for Fremantle. Hugh McCluggage stands up and delivers a killer blow to Fremantle. Margin now just beyond 6 goals, 37 points, 11-8, 74 the Lions, 4-13. 37 the Dockers, Hugh McCluggage. What a player he is. 2 minutes gone in the final term. Sharrod Wellingham and Peter Bell to break it all down for you on ABC Sport.
Well, not much to break down. What hurts is when you've got 4 goals, 13 on the scoreboard, and then the opposing side takes a shot from pretty much outside 50 and nails it. That hurts. I think Neil Erasmus.
The frustrating bit for Fremantle right there is Bailey Banfield regains possession and kicks it 30 metres further backwards, and Cox doesn't play on and start to take the game on. He sits back and lets Brisbane set up the defence.
He didn't
from
even
the deepest
look.
line.
He didn't even look left.
And there might be some breaking down around the ground the way Fremantle have been playing, but they'll win the clearance out of this. Kicking inside forward 50 is Brayshaw. Socket away though by Gardner. Comes back to Erasmus. Here's Fight. Hands it again to Brayshaw. 51 out from goal. Kicks into the goal square. Jackson couldn't mark. Spilled down to Voss. Swept the hand pass back to Bolton. Bolton from 35 out. Kicks up and down in the mine shaft. Jackson tries to get to it. Can't. Spilled out to Berry. Gave it again to Fort. Bounces a kick in the direction of Bailey. Harassed by Brayshaw. Brayshaw will try to pick it up, but a shove in the back. And he'll get the free kick.
And Bolton's down behind play. Looks to be very sore after that contest.
He's limping, Bolton, after he had that kick that went up and down pretty much rather than going towards the goals. Andrew Brayshaw.
This will be a set-up kick to about 15 metres out.
I don't think he's got the distance. He doesn't, as Peter Bell suggested. He kicks it towards Jackson! Big pack up. Jackson landed with the football at full stretch. Hangs on to the yellow Sherrin. He can go back and shoot from 25 out. He'll start in line with the left-hand behind post.
As called by Sharad Wellingham, out of the midfield group and deep forward. So he stepped up with a big contested mark there, Luke Jackson. Got a direct line to the coach's box, Shaz.
Luke Jackson to give his side any chance at all. He kicks the goal for the Dockers. His first of the evening. Just their fifth for Fremantle. 5-13-43 to Brisbane 11-8-74. The Lions lead back to 31 points at the 4-minute mark of the final term. Bridget Lacey's on the boundary. Bridget.
Yeah, confirmation that Corey Wagner was just a tactical sub as we thought, and that non-derby record crowd tonight for Fremantle, the official figure is 54,302. Wilmot's also been getting some work on the bench for Brisbane that they still haven't activated their sub.
There's still definitely some hope there for Fremantle. I think that there's enough shots on goal so far that if they're able to get it in there enough times, they will hopefully be able to convert their entries. And it was a beautiful setup from Brayshaw. Waited till Jackson had had enough split on his opponent and then just popped it into a very dangerous spot.
They'll be running out of time though, the Dockers, if they don't go quick. Out of the ruck, Darcy takes it, handball to 5, tumbling ball inside forward 50. Tracy overruns it, Wilmot on it for the Lions. Tapped into the path of Tracy by Berry, steps through traffic, gives it to the milestone man. Freddie kicks on goal and Michael Frederick misses. They're the ones you've got to kick if you want to ride the wave of momentum. 5-14-44 Fremantle, 11-8-74 the Lions.
Brisbane send it immediately towards the outer side and a juggled mark taken by Ford. Tallest player in that battle. Dragged it in. Had a couple of Dockers to beat too. And it's a good mark. Ford on a couple of steps. The kick is in the direction of Reveal and he can't mark it. It's through his hands and over for a boundary throw-in. Left half forward for Brisbane. That crowd, by the way, 54,302. That's big considering the previous best, just 47,214 between these two sides. So well over 7,000 more than the previous best between the Dockers and the Lions. From the restart, gathered off the ground by Dunkley, who then goes to ground. Gave it to Reveal, kicks towards Bailey, gets told to play on it left half forward. Running by McCluggage, hands it off to Rayner just inside forward 50. Left Fife in his wake and kicked around the body towards full forward. It's off hands. Clark's there, broke the tackle of Morris. Hands it to Frederick, steps between two Lions defenders, goes back to Pearce at full back, kicks towards left half back. Tracy attacks the football and marks for Fremantle. Brisbane 11-8-74, the Dockers 5-14-44, 7 gone in the last.
Kick down the wing from Tracy is marked by Harris Andrews, who can go short to Marshall. Brisbane once again won it back through their skipper. Marshall goes short to Zorko, who's creeping inboard. Tracy's asking the umpire to call play on, eventually does. Long kick towards centre half forward by Zorko, over the head of Fort. Bounces into the path of Leicester, kicks inside forward 50 and Marshall drops in front and takes the mark. Has a chance for career goal number 2.
Really unfortunate, and if he didn't keep his feet, Bolton, you've got to keep the ball going in the same trajectory that it's going. Just allowed Leicester to cut back in and puts all your defenders off footing, doesn't it?
Sam Marshall, deliberate approach from the slightest of angles, almost directly in front, 45 metres out, kicks on goal, it's away to the left. 11-9-75 the Lions, 5-14-44 the Dockers, 8 minutes gone in the final term. Friday night footy on ABC Sport.
Dockers work it around their back 50 to Warner in the left back pocket and back to Ryan. Remembering the Dockers have made their sub. Wagner coming off and Fife on. The debutant Beacon still to play for the Lions. He remains sitting on the bench as Fremantle move it short again to Frederick, who marks. Still in the left back pocket for Freo. He'll kick high towards centre wing. Voss attacks the football. Well done. Worked slightly underneath it. Oh no, the umpire, he has paid the mark towards Andrew. Andrews will move it short. And correct decision. It was well played by the experienced line. Moves it short towards Will Ashcroft, last year's Norm Smith medalist, and back to Zorko. Zorko wants someone to come towards him. He'll get told to move it on now, Zorko, and will do so with a long kick towards right half forward. Big pack goes up, Rayner in front. It's off hands and over for a boundary throw-in. Bridget Lacey is downstairs. Bridge.
Yeah, you mentioned Shea Bolton looked really sore earlier on and was limping around. He's made no move to come off until just now, even though he's still moving poorly, but they turned him down and told him to stay on the ground. So.
Throwing it again. The fingertips of Darcy Ford had 2 goes at it as Rayner went to ground, and Ford emerges with it for the Lions. Gave it to Berry. Strong tackle, but over the shoulder. I was getting there. Switkowski gave it away. And Berry will move on, and he'll put it back inside forward 50 for the Lions. Hipwood! Not quite. Got hands to it. Couldn't gather. Morris tried to hand pass forward into a wall of purple. Banfield gathered, kick beyond the defensive 50. It's allowed to bounce. Brayshaw just goes crashing into his opponent, and that'll be a free kick. Berry.
That was an odd one because he just stopped in front of Brayshaw, and then Brayshaw has run into him.
He's hurt his shoulder here, Berry. It looks to be
it's out. Dislocated left shoulder. It is well and truly out for Jared Berry.
Bolton comes from the ground, limping as well.
Yeah, it was a really odd one because Berry, unfortunately, has tried to stop and halt his run as the ball's bounced up into the air and not gone on its path, as we know the oval ball can do. And Brayshaw's cannoned into the back of him, and when he's stretched out, it's just popped out.
Kick is into the right forward pocket. Surely a reasonable player would have known where that ball was bouncing. And there's a free kick being spotted here, and it's going the way of Brisbane in the right forward pocket. It'll come back for another opportunity to have a shot at goal, and Morris will be trying to kick his third.
He's 191 centimetres. Look, he didn't mark this one, Morris, but he's 191 centimetres. He's got the long arms, and he's just got a real happy knack in those marking situations. He's an immense talent, Logan Morris.
Berry makes his way off the ground. We're watching on the screen here. A dislocated shoulder. I think it was how he landed. It wasn't the hit from Brayshaw into his back that went forward.
Yeah.
Logan Morris looking for his third from about 25 metres out. He's missed, putting it across the face to the left-hand side. So from the right forward pocket, missing to the left. 11-10-76 the Lions, 5-14-44 the Dockers, 12 gone in the last.
Not sure if you noticed as the camera was panning there, but Anthony Grover sitting in the stands watching the Fremantle faithful go about it.
Jordan Clark, current Docker, kicks it out towards the commentary side. Marshall did well through traffic, couldn't quite get it to Will Ashcroft, knocks off the ball. Levi Ashcroft squirts it out wide, looking for his brother. He's got 3 Dockers to contend with. Oh, he wins the ball, Will Ashcroft. What a star. Gets it to Cam Rayner, who can't do the same. Gang tackled by Chapman and Brayshaw, and the Dockers win the free kick.
To this point, haven't really seen Fremantle be brave with the ball in this last quarter to try and get into this deficit, but perhaps now is the time.
Starting to bite it off a bit more dangerously through the middle. The kick from Brayshaw to Clark's a good one. Into the middle of the ground. Warner. The run comes from behind. Ryan has squirted out on the southern side. Chips it forward to Fife. Attacking side of the outer wing. Sees a target inside 50. Kicks it to Frederick. Can't mark. Starcevic came late. Punched the ball away. Now here go the Lions off half-back by hand. Fletcher to Reveal. Chips it over the top, and Bailey can mark. Defensive side of the outer wing. Jasper Fletcher now to a career-high 29 disposals.
Bailey goes back inside defensive 50. Chance to move it around through Leicester. Here again is Andrews, and now out towards Gardner. Plenty of space to work in at right half-back, and you'll find another of the Lions youngsters in Marshall. Just 19 years of age in his 6th game of AFL football. On a short run. Sarong tries to close him down. He gets the kick away, and it's precise as well. Beautifully worked. Move it out towards Levi Ashcroft from Dunkley, and then Ashcroft got a shove in the back. So this will be a free kick. He'll come back here. Levi Ashcroft will call for it eventually. Just shy of right half forward for Brisbane. They're in control at the moment, the Lions. 13 and a half gone in the final term. Brisbane all but about to secure their spot in September. The kick was short. Reid got in front of Dunkley, spilled out to Sarong. Hand pass went straight to Lester of the Lions, and he can chip to Archie, who marks 45 from goal. Better than a 45-degree angle to the right.
You can see what Sarong was trying to do there, trying to take the corridor option with Fife streaming through, but that hand just got in there and chopped the arm, and the ball popped up into nowhere. I thought that may have been a mark to Reid. A little bit unfortunate.
Calamarchi comes in. He's missed left. Minor score. 11-11. 77 the Lions, 5-14-44 the Dockers, 15 gone in the last. Bridget Lacey downstairs.
Yeah, Jared Berry has been subbed out of the game, but he has re-emerged from the rooms with that left shoulder which was dislocated back in, and he looks to be pretty okay. Luke Beacon's about to enter the game for his first run in AFL football, and Shea Bolton's back on the field after having a quick chat to the Docks.
The Dockers, outside defensive 50, long kick to the wing. Day works Jackson underneath it. Takes the mark for the Lions, wants to go forward again. Kicks up towards right half forward over the top. Rayner couldn't mark. Morris tried to claim it. Umpire said play on his tackle to ground, and we'll have a ball up. Probably thought they paid the one in the pocket before. I might have a go.
Well, that was pretty close.
Ball tossed up in the air. Jackson taps it straight into the path of the Lions. Levi Ashcroft, handball to Marshall. Snap inside 50. They'll pay that one.
That one definitely was a mark. He is freakish just with his timing. He gets his hand in. He's got great ball control.
Keeps it in front.
Yeah, so exciting what he's doing as a young forward.
Strong mark to Logan Morris.
And just at that last stoppage, all the Fremantle players caught on the inside. Brisbane owned the outside. And that's just a sign of a team trying to get their way back into the match and losing all of their structure and balance.
So much concern about the retirement of Joe Danaher. Logan Morris has kicked 45 goals for the season. Morris kicks. Morris delivers. This kid's going to be a star. He's got 3. And Brisbane are starting to embrace each other because they are well on the way back to September. 12-11-83 the Lions. 5-14-44 the Dockers. 39-point margin halfway through the last term, and the Dockers fans are starting to leave.
Going to be a star? I would probably argue that he's already there. He is a star of the game, Logan Morris, and what a find, a pick in the 30s.
The youngest of their premiership side from last year. 3 goals tonight for the 20-year-old. Already played tonight 40 AFL games. 70 goals from those as well. 10 disposals, a couple of marks. 3 goals tonight for the Lions. The reigning premier. They're going to defend their title in September. Down by Darcy, but stolen away here through Bailey. He shared it through McCluggage and then on to Will Ashcroft and back to Bailey. Kicks inside forward 50. Pearce at the back. Claims the mark for the Dockers. Step off his line and then kick in the direction of Sarong at full stretch. He marks, goes on by hand to O'Driscoll.
Oh, wow.
That's a very poor kick, but might work out okay. It came to Darcy, had to backtrack, and that is a good kick out towards left half forward to Frederick. Has options aplenty, decides to go long. He was asking a lot from Tracy. Andrews came in from the side and spoils it away. And over the boundary line, 35 out from the Dockers goal at the Farmer Freeway end. As the crowd has made official on the scoreboard, 54,302. The Dockers' biggest ever non-derby crowd.
It was 54,000.
Yeah, fair point. Thrown in again. Darcy won it down. It came out to Marshall, though, of the Lions. And they'll go from McCluggage beyond defensive 50. Banfield won it down. It came to Erasmus. Got it to O'Driscoll for the Dockers. Kicked up into the air and a defensive mark comes the way of Fletcher. That'll be disposal 30 for him tonight. A career best.
The Lions once again go out that southern side. Under pressure was the debutant in Beacon. Coughed it up. Zorko, though, went back in, gathered and handballed it out to the debutant again. Luke Beacon onto the ground. Handball to Will Ashcroft, who waits for Beacon to keep running. He's going to get a third touch, the young man. Tackled by Chapman before he could dispose it. He's taken the ground. It's almost like Will Ashcroft was playing with the Dockers and thought, I'll just wait for the young fella to come along. I'll handball it back to the debutant out of Woodville West Torrens in South Australia. He's had to bide his time. I say young fella, he's older than Will Ashcroft, funnily enough, as the kick goes up the wing. Tracy takes the mark for the Dockers. Kicks inboard inside the centre square to Bolton. Handball over the top to Switkowski from 45. Kicks it, marked by Harris Andrews. He has been everywhere tonight.
He has been, but I have no idea what Pat Voss was doing. That is, he just lost his judgment on where the ball was going.
I dare say Pat Voss is rattled because he has had no idea on how to take down Harris Andrews tonight.
He's been too Andrews conscious.
Yeah.
The Lions through Starcevic go inboard to Darcy Wilmot, can take a bounce, run to the logo on the commentary side, kick up towards half forward, reveal flew over the top, couldn't take the mark, roved his own ball. It's Archie who roves it. Archie roves it, kicks it forward, Bailey marks, handball to Cameron, he kicks it almost into the third tier. Would have been fitting a third tier for a third goal. It didn't quite make it, but it is absolutely party time for the Lions, who have devoured the Dockers here in Perth. 13-11-89 Brisbane, 5-14-44 Fremantle. 20 minutes gone in the final term. Friday night footy on ABC Sport. Two premiership players behind us, Sharad Wellingham and Peter Bell.
Getting ugly now, but this is tremendous for Brisbane, isn't it? It's a long road trip. They've come over here and their first quarter was just brutal, to use that word again. And they've set up a really important victory and, more importantly, a real, well, I wouldn't say confidence booster, but just writing the course after last week's game.
Yeah, almost a little bit of a calmer, a bit of a settler.
They've got a confidence about them, don't they? Like a swagger, Brisbane. And it's not an arrogance, it's just a confidence.
Yeah, love it.
Bounce again. Darcy palmed it down. Brayshaw looked to soccer it away, but it'll bounce the way of Reville. Gathers for the Lions, just shy of the logo. Commentary wing. Kicks towards Cameron, who gets run down. Good tackle by Warner. Managed to get the hand pass out, though, according to the officials. Came again towards Sarong. Then to Chapman. Sweeping hand pass to Fife in the centre square. Moves it on towards Clark. On in turn comes to O'Meara. Kick into the right forward pocket. Andrews got in front of Amos. He's been everywhere. And he sees it over the boundary line for another throw-in.
He defended Amos and Frederick, who were at one stage 40 metres apart. He defended them both.
It's almost like when they get a possession, Fremantle at the moment, and he is in their view, they're scared to kick it because they're worried he is going to have an impact on it.
You dead set think they'd cloned him. He's in so many spots around this ground, Harris Andrews. It's staggering. And the throw-in again off the hands of Ford, who thought he was being infringed. It spills down to Sarong, and he's been tackled, and they'll ball it up. It's a meek showing by Fremantle tonight against the Lions. Punched down by Fort. Out after it's Leicester in the left back pocket for Brisbane. Kicks towards left half back. Day won it to ground, but it spills the way of the Dockers. O'Meara gave it straight towards Ryan. He's wrapped up by Rayner. That's going to be holding the ball. Cam Rayner gets a little head ruffle from his teammates, and he'll bounce up to take the free kick at left half back. The Lions, they're romping. They're up by 45 points, 22 gone in the last.
Seen a lot of that, the celebrations of a tackle, a spoil. They've been really getting around each other.
No one does it more, I reckon, in the AFL than Harris Andrews. He celebrates every spoil like it's a major, and I guess for a defender it kind of is. On the far side, Brayshaw of the Dockers gave it to Clark, back to Brayshaw. A low handball from Ryan, got it forward. Darcy trying to sock it off the deck, and now Sarong and Ashcroft tie up. I'd be checking the Guernseys out there because I reckon there's 7 Lions wearing number 31. It's the only explanation I have. Like, he can't be that many places at once, Harris Andrews.
I'm telling you, they've cloned him.
Doctor Who, he just pops up everywhere. Through the pack, Zorko, handballed it straight up in the air. Banfield gone over the Dockers, gave it to Clark, tried to thump it torpedo forward. Fort smothered it to Dunkley.
Like that. He just does it so many times. Morris just got that really long 50. Reach.
No, almost.
Not paid.
A mark to Logan Morris against Alex Pearson. He's got a player in the pocket, all on his own. It's Callum Archie. Takes the mark and will have the set shot from about 25 metres out. Slightly worse than 45-degree angle to the right.
And Mitch, that's almost inexcusable from Fremantle defending there. That ball's gone from the marking contest. It's dropped down on the ground. It's taken its time to get back to the Brisbane player, and they still don't have the ability to man up.
Kalachi's out the back, goal side.
Knows how to find a goal, Kalachi, back in his hometown, his home state. He celebrates truly. Tell you what, the Lions might be hungry for another medallion. 14-11-95 Brisbane. Fremantle at 5-14-44. Margin now 51 points. Bridget Lacey on the boundary.
Yeah, Eric Hipwood has been off the ground for quite some time, and he's got now a sort of a brace on over his left leg, left calf. So maybe one to keep an eye on through the week.
Yeah, the replay didn't look good. Sorry,
Erasmus and Chapman just both switched off, gave up. Thought that because the whistle had gone, that the game stopped. Your opponent can still run when the whistle's blown.
So the Lions next week back to the Gabba, which has not been a fortress for them this year. They've lost 4 and won 6 so far at the Gabba. They've been awesome away from home. Racing away here. Sarong, kick was into traffic, spilled out to Fife, gave it to Brayshaw, to Fife again, hands it off to Switkowski. He's 40 from goal, he has a ping, and he's missed the lot. That just about sums up Fremantle's evening. Free kick at left full back for the Lions. Be a player who's been linked potentially with a move back home in Starcevic, who I know the Eagles are very keen on. He's got the ball in his hand. He's got it at left full back. 14-11 plays 5-14. 25 gone in the last.
Long kick from Starcevic, looking for Fort. Big fist over the top from Clark. Comes down towards O'Driscoll on the first gamer in Beacon, who tie up and will have a ball up 60 metres out from the Dockers' attacking goal. They've failed to fire a shot tonight, Fremantle, and the critics will come this week. From the restart, fired out towards Sarong, trying to squirt the handball forward. Stolen by McCluggage. Gave the 1-2 with Dunkley. Now goes beyond defensive 50 inside the corridor to Darcy Fort. The big ruckman wants to switch the kick. It's a great kick in the end towards right half back. It had to be perfect, and it was, as Harris Andrew takes the mark and comes wide to Marshall, who's looked okay tonight, the young man. Game number 6. Goes backwards to Kalachi. Now backwards again inside 50. 20 metres out from their own goal, Harris Andrews can mark. The Lions just happy to slow this game down now and edge their way to the final siren as Starcevic marks, eventually called to play on and chips it back towards right half back where Archie can mark again. The Lions are just
they're almost
taking their time.
They're almost up 100 marks on Fremantle, plus 100.
That's an incredible stat. This man has been all over it. This is mark number 18 for Jasper Fletcher.
Well, they'll get it in this phase.
He goes short to Ashcroft and goes back to Fletcher.
And Fletcher will get a kick away. It'll be disposal 32 for him towards right half back. And the umpire spotted a free kick. It's going the way of the Lions. And they'll have it through Marshall at right half back. Our colleague up in Queensland, Quentin Hull, tells us the Lions in Queensland have won 6 and lost 5. Elsewhere, they've won 9, lost 1, drawn 1. They are back home, though, against Hawthorn at the Gabba. But they will know that their spot in September is safe with tonight's win. They're going to continue their premiership defence for at least a few more weeks. Reveal towards right half forward. Pearce flew. Couldn't mark this time. There'll be no saving the game heroics from Alex Pearce tonight. The margin's so lopsided against Fremantle. The ball's been locked in. There'll be a ball up at right half forward. Outstanding performance from Brisbane this evening. Fort won it down. It went to Brayshaw, though. Got it to Clark. His kick smothered by Dunkley. Spills down in the direction of a teammate in Wilmot. Comes towards Fife once more. Hands it off again. This is Wilmot at centre half forward. Reveal kicks towards full forward. Stretching Morris. Can't quite mark, but he'll get the free kick. It's only going to be a matter of the margin. The Lions are going to lock in a final spot and continue their premiership defence in 2025 into September, while the Dockers' hopes are on the raggedy edge. Well beaten tonight. Fremantle will have to wait until next week
to try to secure a finals berth against the Western Bulldogs at the Docklands. Logan Morris searching for his fourth from the right forward pockets. Kicks on its way. It's through. It sums up the evening that has been all about Brisbane. Morris with 4. Brisbane 15-11-101. Fremantle 5-14-44.
Troy and there's our goal. All for one and one for all. We will answer to the call. Go Lions, Brisbane Lions. We'll kick the winning score. You'll hear a mighty roar. Troy and there's our goal. All for one and one for all. We will answer to the call. Go Lions, Brisbane Lions. We'll kick the winning score. You'll hear a mighty roar. You'll hear a mighty
So for Brisbane, Morris finished with 4, Cameron with 3, Bailey with a couple, and so too Rayner. And singles to McCluggage, to Archie, to Lester and to Fort. While for the Dockers, 2 goals to Tracy and singles to Jackson, to Reid and to Brayshaw. Brisbane 57-point winners. The Lions too good across the evening. They led by 15 points at quarter time, by 8 at the half, and then put that out to a 31-point margin at three-quarter time before going on to win impressively by 57. 15-11-101 to 5-14-44. Brisbane's hopes of back-to-back remain intact in 2025. They'll play finals no matter what happens next Sunday against Hawthorn at the Gabba. And right now they can nestle themselves into second spot and see how the rest of the week will pan out. While for Fremantle, depending upon other results, the Dockers, they'll more than likely have to get a result against the Western Bulldogs at the Docklands Sunday next week for Fremantle to play finals football. Remarkable that they were, if they'd won tonight, in a position to move up into second spot. Instead, the Dockers are back fighting for their lives in 2025. There's a bit to unpick out of all this. Brisbane, they've hit form again at the right time after a shaky couple of weeks. And quite rightly, people around the country will start to wonder once more, can you trust the Dockers when it absolutely matters? On tonight's evidence, despite what they've done in recent weeks, winning 11 of their past 12, when it was on the line and there to be locked in, Fremantle faltered. Let's find out what our experts think. Peter Bell and Sharad Wellingham on ABC Sport.
We will talk about Fremantle quite a bit, but first of all, let's pay credit to Brisbane, who came across here. They had a plan, Shaz, and that was to deny Fremantle the ball, and then they executed it, and they executed it perfectly, barring a phase in the second quarter where Fremantle got back in the match kicking 3 consecutive goals. But just going through some of the numbers, so 159 to 61 in marks. Let me remind you, the all-time record for marks is 170 in the history of the game. So Brisbane almost had that.
We might hear from Nat Fyfe,
Yeah,
who's going to speak downstairs after announcing his retirement this week. Here's Nat Fyfe with the on-ground PA.
But especially for us who bleed purple and have followed your career, what has it been like for you?
It's been an incredible journey. It's been an absolute privilege to wear the purple and to be supported by all of you, everyone at home watching on. I've grown up in front of you. My whole identity is wrapped in this club. I'll always be a Fremantle person and just inevitably grateful.
Mate, you've said so many times, you touched on it in your speech, that, everything rings true. You've achieved so much, yet the premiership is just out of reach, but it's still on the line next week. That's an important message, isn't it?
Absolutely, yep. Massive game next week. Congratulations to Brisbane tonight. I'd like to think across my career I've prided myself on just never giving up and doing my best, and we'll keep doing that as a footy club.
Nath, as supporters and fans, and I can tell you I'm right there on the front, I'm one of them, followed your career. We all want to say thank you in our own way tonight, but please, with your opportunity, take it now to say what you'd like to the fans.
Just reiterate what I said before, it's been a special journey for me. I came as a skinny kid from the Lake Grace. There's a few Lake Grace people here tonight. Thank you very much for your support all the way through. I'll always be a Fremantle person. Thank you.
So Nat 5 downstairs. I would make the point. I'm not sure we needed the backing track, as we're hearing from one of the greats of the club, whoever's upstairs in the DJ mode. But anyway, nice to hear from Nat 5 downstairs, and they're just waiting. This is a lovely touch from the Brisbane Lions and from the Fremantle Dockers. They're waiting to farewell Nat 5 as he just does a circuit of Perth Stadium to say farewell. It may very well be the last time Nat 5 gets to play in front of his home crowd. They turned out in big numbers for him tonight, 54,302 after he announced his retirement on Monday. An iconic member of WA football, a giant of this club, twice a Brownlow medalist, 3 times a fairest and best, 3 times an All-Australian captain in 2019, Dockers captain between 2017 and 2022, and twice the AFLPA's most valuable player. He'll make his way down through the Guard of Honour, goes across, and a warm embrace to Dane Zorko. Holds both hands aloft as the Dockers, every member of the club is out to say thank you to him. He'll embrace his partner on the side, thank his manager who's downstairs as well, and the rest of his family that have made their way to show their appreciation for the journey that they've been on with him. I know his dad spoke to us on ABC here in WA. He spoke about the 25 surgeries that Nat Fyfe has had to undergo. Broken leg twice, so many shoulder issues. He applauds the crowd, gives them the thumbs up, turns to see where the rest of his teammates are. He could have hoped for so much more. Final wave perhaps and a few high fives as Fyfe makes his way down the tunnel, surrounded by his teammates. And Brisbane will make their way across to thank their supporters who came out in big numbers, made the trip across the country. There's a couple of thousand of them at the Farmer Freeway end of Perth Stadium. And they can celebrate. Brisbane, they're into the finals. 15-11-101 to Fremantle 5-14-44. Apologies, Billy.
No, that's okay. They were brutal early, Brisbane, weren't they? Just the physicality. And just going back to that mark number, I just love the way that they had the plan, they executed the plan, and Corbin Middlemass has just texted me and said, you know they had 158 marks in the grand final last year where they dominated Sydney, and they've come up with 159 tonight. So just to have that ability to be all on the same page, to be able to execute those skills under pressure. And look, to be honest, at times tonight there wasn't a whole lot of pressure, but to keep that ball in motion and then just to be clinical when you needed to. And that was a bit that really disappointed me about Fremantle. They had some chances, Freo. They early on, inability to convert, but then also when they had their looks, just weren't able to execute the fundamentals and turn their good looks into scores, into goals.
Yeah, exactly right, Billy. I think that the thing with that game style, and do you know what? I was thinking during the game, I was like, I'd love to watch their training sessions and the way they try and practice that and train it. It'd be an amazing training session to watch when they're trying to work through just keeping the ball moving and keeping, moving on their feet and just creating that width. And it was so evident early on that I thought what they've come over here to try and do is absolutely exhaust Fremantle so that they can't put any pressure on. They can't put that physical pressure on, which is why they did it so frenetically in that first quarter. And it just paid dividends straight away. Fremantle were exhausted in defence, and then offensively were not able to, put up a whimper at all. And so it just took away everything that the opposition were going to try and, before a big game, you go out there going, look, we need to be intense. We need to make sure that the contest is really tight. And then all of a sudden your opposition are making it really big and wide and just kicking the ball around. And you'd be out there chasing and just, absolutely exhausting yourself. And get the ball back and you go, oh, I need to take a second here.
I didn't feel like Fremantle adjusted much.
No.
Like they would have been trying a few things, but the game didn't change shape or complexion too much. So
they needed some on-field leadership to recognise what Brisbane was trying to employ and go, look, we almost need to just get defensive side of our opposition and let them chip it around, but just do not let them come forward at us. And that's exactly what JL must have been meaning when he said own the corridor, because they were drawing them out
and then finding
that corridor. And it didn't have to be like a really special inside 45. It was just one where it changed the angle a little bit, but it enabled them to have a mark that they could play and wheel and go, and then they were just open out the back.
And this is not about being super critical of Fremantle because they've had an unbelievable run up until this point, but tonight it was stark, the difference between the skill level. It was really stark. And also the other part was Brisbane's pace with the ball in that we're going to move the ball on. Made Fremantle look really slow when they held onto the ball and held for too long. Okay, we'll go long down the line.
Let's go down into the victorious Brisbane rooms. Bridget Lacey's down there for us. Bridget?
It's rowdy down here, Clint. This rooms is very happy with the work of their Brisbane Lions. Obviously plenty of family and friends in here. Chris Fagan actually came in earlier, got the huge ovation, and then obviously realised the Five stuff was happening and headed back out again. So he got 2 cheers coming in and out. Luke Beacon's now copping the sports drink, the debutant, obviously in his first win. Jared Berry also came in a little while ago as well, ahead of his teammates. Obviously with that left shoulder, we'll wait to see whether he's able to play on. Here we go. We should have a player very shortly.
I know they've been enjoying being on the road this year with the way their record has been, but a big game next week for Brisbane against Hawthorn. Even though finals are locked in, what about these milestones? Dane Zorko will play his 300th, Charlie Cameron his 250th, and Eric Hipwood his 200th. 3 big reasons, if you can get to the Gabba, to celebrate with the Brisbane Lions on Sunday against Hawthorn. An outstanding performance tonight. 15-11, 101 by 57 points over Fremantle. 5-14-44. Any more thoughts, gents?
Well,
we're just sticking with Brisbane for a second here.
Brisbane in good shape. I'm not sure exactly where their injuries and players returning from injuries are at, but
Neil will return for the first week of finals, so he's expected to miss
really?
2. Yep.
I thought that he was time.
He was just regular season.
Okay.
Just home and away. McKenna should be back from a hamstring for the start of the finals.
Where's Lohman at?
Lohman expected to miss 1 more with a calf, so he'll be back for the finals.
He's tight for spots, isn't it?
It's going to be
a great
tight.
issue to have.
Let's head back downstairs. Bridget Lacey, Bridge.
Yes, I've got a star of the show with me down here, someone that we all enjoy watching, Logan Morris. Another 4 goals tonight, and you've locked yourself back into September. That's a pretty good night's work.
Yeah, bloody oath. We came in here knowing that, we're under the pump a bit. Obviously a disappointing loss last week, and we knew we had to bounce back, and the boys played extraordinary tonight. So, good to get back on the winners list and hopefully keep pushing that way towards finals.
Dockers have got some pretty solid key defenders, but you definitely got the better of them tonight. Can you tell us what happened when you got that down the ground free kick against Brendan Cox? Because I didn't really see any replays of that one.
Yeah, they got into me from the start, and I knew that it probably might have got a bit more attention, and so I just ran it back to goal and got hit behind the ball, and I went with it a bit, and umpires saw it and got a little cheeky free kick. So you take them when you can, and but no, credit to him. He's a great defender, and it was a good battle all night.
One of your teammates who's been under a little bit of pressure, and obviously a boy from WA as well, Charlie Cameron, bounced back to some nice form tonight. Did you see that one coming? Yeah, I knew he was coming. I knew my boy was going to kick a few tonight, so love watching him play, and I'm glad he played a good game tonight. Excellent. I'll send you upstairs for some more questions. Clint Wilden's up there with Sharad Wellingham and Peter Bell.
Logan, congrats on the win. A huge uncontested mark count tonight. Just take us through how much of a focus that was leading into this game.
Yeah, it's one of our focuses each week. We want to control the ball with our players and kick mark and get uncontested marks and try and break the game open that way. And the boys in the back half did that pretty well tonight, and that's probably why we scored so heavily. Credit to those boys in the back half who moved it well and made it a lot easier for myself and the other forwards.
You make it look pretty simple, but I'm interested in how, given that the ball is being moved around so quickly with so many uncontested marks, how you work to find yourself in the right position as a key forward.
Yeah, one of my strengths and something that I keep working on is just my movement and trying to get my defender away from me and trying to use my aerobic capacities as well as I can, and I worked a lot on that on the off season and in the pre-season. So I know that early on in the game they can probably stick with me, but it's probably later in the game when I can kind of burn them a bit, and that's when I kind of get my look. So just take it as it comes and try and break it open in the second half.
Logan, do you ever get a little bit frustrated as they're, from up here it can sometimes look like they're mucking around with it? Do you ever just wish they'd kick it to you, or are you happy just let the game plan play out and wait for him to find that space? Zorko tonight was excellent at it. Yeah, sometimes it's a bit frustrating when it gets turned over a bit further up the ground, but that's footy, and people are going to make mistakes. I'll make mistakes, so you just got to kind of move on and be a goldfish and move on. So Zorko was huge tonight, and good to see him getting back to his good form and moving the ball well.
Is he the player that you lick your lips at the most when you look up the field and he's streaming forward of centre and you've got a bit of space in which to operate? Dane Zorko, is he the one? Is he the best kick?
Yeah, definitely. It's always good when you're in the forward 50 and you look up and you've got Zorks running at you. He's so smart with ball in hand, and he can kind of read what patterns I'm doing, and I can... sometimes I don't even have to lead, he just puts it out in front of me and I can just run onto it. So definitely he's elite when you get players like Zorko coming in, kicking it into forward 50, so credit to him.
Premiership in your first year, 47 goals in your second year, and another final series beckons. Can you believe it, this game, AFL footy?
Not really, to be honest. Dreamed of playing AFL my whole life, and obviously what happened last year was super special, and I kind of sometimes just sit back and reflect and not think how lucky I am, but just kind of sit back and think that what a job I have, and it's good to come out here and play with the boys, and got such a good group here, and I love playing footy each week and coming out and hopefully keep pushing towards finals, and who knows what can happen, because it's such a good feeling what we had last year of winning the ultimate prize. So hopefully we can just keep building, and who knows what happens in the next couple of months.
Logan Morris is our guest downstairs here on ABC Sport. Logan, outstanding performance from you this year, and we've loved watching what you've been doing. At the start of the year there was so much talk who will be able to fill in for Joe Danaher, and you've taken that step and grabbed it with both hands. How did you feel at the start of the year, knowing that Joe wasn't going to be there, and knowing there was all that discussion about how would the Lions fill in the absence of someone like Joe Danaher?
Obviously it was a bit not disappointing, but obviously you don't want to see such a good forward leave your forward line, and I know that I had to kind of step up a bit. Obviously he's such a good player, and but it makes it a lot easier when you got the likes of Eric, Charlie, Cam Rayner, Zach Bailey, Kalachi. Our forward line's so dynamic, and anyone can step up on any day. But I think I worked on my game a lot in the last couple of years, and I just keep building on my game, and the boys I think are trusting me a bit more, and when they kick it to me, hopefully they trust that I can either bring it to ground or mark it and hopefully hit the scoreboard. But it's credit to the boys who just keep backing me in, and hopefully we can keep doing that, and who knows what happens.
It certainly looks like it from up here, and it's quite remarkable as a 20-year-old the way you've been able to lead the line. Do you feel comfortable within yourself? Because it looks like you are, but do you feel that comfortable how you're travelling at the moment? Because from where we sit, it's been an incredible year.
Yeah, sometimes I don't play the way that I want to play, and I think that's what fuels me to play better the week after. I wasn't really happy with my game after Gold Coast, and I bounced back the last couple of weeks, which has been nice. So, I think all the forward line coaches and all the coaches back me in. I get to work during the week, and they see me doing the work and putting in a lot of work. So it's good to get the results on game day, and I think I've still got a lot to grow and a lot to get better. So hopefully, this year's all right, but I'm pretty keen to get stuck in it next year as well. Hopefully keep getting better.
Logan, just want to jump back into the game for a second. The start that you guys had, that first quarter, we obviously know that we tried to get the retention with the kick mark, but your intensity defensively was great as well. Did you just feel throughout that whole first quarter that you could do no wrong? Yeah,
that's a big focus for ours coming into this week, was just, bring that pressure, bring the heat. It starts on defence, and then we all know we can go back the other way and use our offensive traits. So we started on the back of our defence, and we brought that early. So it's good to tick that one off, and that's obviously a focus for ours each week, is just bring the pressure, bring the heat, and we did that today. So it's credit to our boys.
We celebrate the youngsters. Yourself, Jasper Fletcher, was outstanding tonight at 21 years of age, had a career-high 32 disposals, and so much is made of the two Ashcrofts. There's so many young players coming through this Brisbane side. You're the premiership team, and you've got the likes of those, and Sam Marshall tonight as well. There's so many youngsters in this group.
Yeah, credit to our recruiting team. We've got a lot of young boys that can step up, and I think are comfortable at the level. Jasper, Darcy, those boys have played in 2 grand finals back-to-back, so a lot of experience in finals under those guys' belts, and I think everyone just trusts each other. And we just get to work each week. We all want to get better, and we keep getting better. So it's credit to our young boys, and hopefully we can just keep building and keeps us in good stead.
And on the flip side, Logan, the last one from us upstairs, and again, thanks for your time. Those old blokes. It's a big game, the next one against Hawthorn. I mentioned it before, but Zorko's 300. You've got Hipwood's 250, and a personal favourite of ours here in the West, Charlie Cameron, he's 250. So 200 for Hipwood, 250 for Cameron, 300 for Zorko. It'll be an enormous game.
Yep, for sure. I think those boys have been eyeing that off for the whole year. So, it'll be a good week. We'll celebrate this win tonight, then we'll probably move on pretty quickly and get stuck into the last game of the year, and hopefully we can finish on a good note. So we'll celebrate those boys during the week, and hopefully we can get the win for them next week. That'll be huge.
Congratulations, Logan. Thanks for chatting to us.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Logan Morris with 4 goals tonight, and it is remarkable because as a 20-year-old, there were questions, who is going to take over from Joe Danaher? That was one of the big discussion points about the Lions. How will they be able to manage it? Who'll kick them? As we saw Logan, the youngest of that 2024 premiership team. What did you mention? 47 goals now for the year.
Huge, hey? Huge. But if you just imagine if you were him, and not that he would have been overjoyed by it, but he would have gone, the forward 50's mine now. I've had Joe kind of be the player that he has been, and I'm just ready to burst onto the scene. Second-year player, it's pretty awesome to be able to just slot into it, and the impact he's having. But Billy, you made the call during the game that his ability to just impact a contest, keep kind of the flight of the ball where he wants it, juggle. He does it every week, really, doesn't he? He just continues to fight for it, and he'll jump, and he's got those long arms.
Long arms, and he just gets one of the Dukes up at the right time, can control the ball. He'll be out of position, but he just, that great ball control, and he's in every single marking contest. He's an absolute gem. Love watching him play.
Darren from the ACT sent us a text. Lots of text to go through. There's a couple of good ones here. Great call. Ryan Lester is hugely important to the Lions. His concussion possibly cost them against the Swans. Is Murphy Reid the best Reid in WA? That's from Darren Reid of the ACT. It's been one of those interesting questions throughout WA. Who's the best Reid going around?
He's playing the best.
He's had a better year
He's had a
this
way
year.
better year.
Harley's year last year, although Murphy wasn't in the AFL, he had a pretty good year at Sandringham. But Harley was unbelievable last year. But on this year, on that little side note.
Brett from Canberra, hi team. This is one of the worst games I've watched this year. It wasn't great.
For Fremantle?
For Fremantle.
Yeah, it unravelled late, didn't it? And one of the things that would be really concerning and Justin and the coaching staff would be really disappointed in, their team defence was off and Brisbane kicked their way through it. And what happened was, I reckon there were a few passengers in team defence. And with the way that Fremantle defend, if there are a couple of passengers and weak links in the chain, it unravels. And we saw that in Brisbane. They're going to test any team defence, but they obliterated Fremantle's tonight.
Well done, Pete, who sent us a text on the forum and said that if I thought the Dockers would beat the Bulldogs in the last game of the season, he had a bridge in Sydney to sell me. He's just told me, g'day, Clint, the price of the bridge has just gone up by 50%. Billy, you and I said, I reckon in round 3 would go down to the Western Bulldogs game.
The last round.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, back in round 3 we said that.
Well, so like I said before the game, that game has just got that much more scary for Freo.
Oh, dear, oh, dear.
Yep.
Like the way that they have been playing over the last 2 months, their form should put them into a position where they go in clear favourites. But the weight of it, I just don't know that they are going to be able to live up to not their own expectations, but the external expectation now. I think I'm fingers crossed that I'm proven wrong here, but I just don't know if they're going to be able to.
It's a valid point that you raise, and I've written it here too. They'll review and review hard, and it's going to be tough because there is the pressure. I've written here the pressure of a 15-win season, and potentially putting it all on the line over 4 quarters. Can you carry that and respond and get the result against a quality opposition? And we know the Bulldogs, Bontempelli, Darcy, Norton, and many others, Bailey, Dale, they have a poor record, Fremantle, against the Bulldogs at Docklands as well. So, a big week.
Like a month ago, I would have said Freo would beat them.
But, it's the what do you carry from this game into the next game. And that's been a strength of Fremantle's, that have been able to take their learnings from their review and whether it's good or bad, move on to the next moment and play what's in front of them. Yeah. They need to do that for one very important fixture against a quality opposition, like I said.
So here's the nightmare scenario for the Dockers. Go 0-2. These are the other results that push Freo out. Hawthorn, GWS and Gold Coast win one of their remaining games. And, of course, the Bulldogs, as we suspect, but let's take the Peterbilt. There's no such thing as a certainty. The Bulldogs beat the Eagles this weekend. So the Bulldogs beat the Eagles this weekend, and then they beat the Dockers next weekend, and Hawthorn, the Giants and Gold Coast win one of their remaining games, and Fremantle will miss out on finals. So with 15 wins.
15 wins.
Yep. Brutal, isn't it? So I guess from a Fremantle perspective, just win, which is easier said than done, but that's the equation you had to go for, I suppose.
So my, negative thoughts right now are off the back of their skill execution and inability tonight to put on pressure. I just go, okay, so the night got to them. The occasion got to the team tonight. Does it not get even bigger next week?
Yeah.
And so they're going to have to really do not some soul searching, because it's not like they're West Coast at the moment who really need to find some help. But it's how are they going to change what has been the story of the club for so long? How are they going to rise to this occasion?
Yep. And they've risen to a lot this year, so this is.
But it all means nothing
biggest...
if they win 15 games and don't manage to make finals. It's almost for nothing. You can't then go again. Yeah, we had 15 wins.
It'd be hollow.
It'd be gut wrenching, wouldn't it?
So Brisbane, they're clearly in good order. Premiers of last year, competition for spots. They've got a key forward who's seeing it pretty well at the moment. They got weapons. Just consider. And it's so much a turnover game, and they scored 11 goals from turnover, Brisbane.
11-7.
11-7. 7 of those in the second half. When you think about the players of the quality bouncing off halfback, Zorko, Fletcher, Wilmot, What about the run and kicking power of those three? With Harris Andrews as the mountain back there, the general as well, intercepting and spoiling and everything else. It is a formidable back line, and they've absolutely torched Fremantle tonight. Did highlight a few in the pre-match. Andrews, Bailey and Fletcher has been three of the players to watch, and they've all had pretty good games. It's no great revelation given the quality of the players, but they're just littered with stars, aren't they, Brisbane, which is what you expect when you've had the recent record that they have.
Just recapping the two results tonight. Brisbane by 57 points, 15-11, 101 over Fremantle, 5-14-44. That's right, 5-14-44, and 11 of those behinds were actually off the boot from Fremantle. They did waste some chances in front of goal, but Brisbane, the far better team. Logan Morris with 4 goals, Charlie Cameron with 3, Zach Bailey with a couple. So Brisbane, they've locked in what is now a 7th consecutive finals appearance for the Lions. Well done to Chris Fagan in his 9th season. He's, after a pretty tough start, now qualified for finals on 7 consecutive occasions. Of course, they are looking to go back-to-back, the Lions, and they look the good tonight against one of the other top 9 teams. The earlier games, St Kilda by 2 points over the Bombers, 11-11-77 to 11-9-75. The Saints with a 4th straight win. The Bombers have now lost 11 straight. Before you jump on me, Bombers fans, I know that there are reasons why, because of their injury, but still 11 straight losses. And what makes it worse, and a big thanks to Corbin who sent this through to us, is just how the game panned out at the very end. Mason Redman had the final shot of the match, had a chance to win it. He was hurried, had the shot on the run with 1 second left. He missed. So the Saints win 4 in a row, all by single-digit margins. There were 6 lead changes, 5 in the second half, and the Saints hang on to win by 2. Of course, you can join Corbin tomorrow for AFL Saturday throughout all the states. That's from midday, except here in WA, where we're having a short and sweet sports talk before we take you to the Expansion Cup between Gold Coast and GWS. But join myself and Peter Bell and Glenn Quartermain from 10 o'clock tomorrow. Short and sweet, Fremantle fans. You can have your say. Give us a call. Love to hear from you about what you made of tonight's performance by the Dockers. Pat from Brisbane. Be good to have an ABC Brisbane guy, part of your team. Might provide a balanced account, perhaps next weekend. Yep, Pat, I feel the same way. We should have a West Australian over there when our team's playing Brisbane. Goodness me.
We were on the Brisbane bandwagon.
What a ridiculous text that is, Pat. Give yourself an uppercut. 0437 774 774. Oh,
Brisbane couldn't have been any better.
No, people hear what they want to hear. Goodness me, Pat. Seriously. Fran asked a question, please, quickly. Pies lose or win? They need to know. Neither, because they're playing tomorrow against Adelaide, Fran. Big shout out to Sharon.
Or was it a question? Was it a question? Do they win?
Well, it says, please, quickly, Pies lose or win? Need to know. Oh, sorry, as in question mark.
Yep.
The curse of the lack of punctuation in text messages. Do they win or lose tomorrow against Adelaide? We'll let you ask you the question. Do they win or lose, Shash?
Well, Hart says they win, and the fact that they haven't lost to them since 2016, I say Pies win.
Billy?
I'm going the other way.
Yeah, me too.
Game gross.
I'm on the Crom bandwagon.
Mate, they nearly lost to West Coast last week.
Yeah, and I think that was a massive wake-up call that they needed, by the way.
The record is very much weighted in Collingwood's favour. They've had close games the last 4 or 5, I reckon, all within a goal from memory, haven't they?
Yeah.
Maybe not 4 or 5, but certainly the last few.
Very close games.
In fact, I'm just going to check which team's got more West Australians in it so I can go for them to keep Pat happy up in Brisbane. Let's go down into the Fremantle rooms. Mitch Turner is down there. Mitch!
Thanks, Clint. Down here with the Dockers captain, Alex Pearce. I guess that must be a real disappointing one for you tonight.
Really disappointed. Clearly, we knew coming in it was a really big game and there was a lot at stake, and it didn't go the way we wanted to, and let ourselves down early, and the tail of the game, we missed our opportunities. They took theirs. We didn't defend them well enough. We knew they were going to be aggressive, go up the corridor, and they did that. They're a really dangerous side, and they were able to hurt us.
They're a really good side. They're the defending premiers for a reason. That first quarter, they seemed to just take the ball away with you and really possess it. Was that a hard thing to counter? The uncontested marks were just off the charts in that first half.
Yeah, yep, absolutely. There's a fine line between trying to defend every mark and then really defending the corridor, and sometimes they can kick the ball around and not really get anywhere, but they were able to get us through the corridor, and yeah, we were in some vulnerable positions. So yeah, again, really disappointing because we knew they would look to attack us through the corridor, and it took us too long to adjust to really try and clamp that down and get the ball back.
I guess once you did get yourselves back in the game from a winning the ball kind of standpoint and getting some clearances in that second quarter, you couldn't really capitalise on the dominance. How frustrating was it just to see those chances go missing?
Yeah. It's saying even in the first quarter when it wasn't going our way, we still created some opportunities and missed them and should have been a lot closer. Second quarter, felt like we were really, really on top in the game. The ball lived in our front half quite a bit, and we repeat entries and again just couldn't score, and they would get an easy goal from a 50-metre penalty or a downfield or a free kick, and we came in at halftime really happy with the way the game was looking, but we were still down on the scoreboard, which was disappointing.
There was a couple moments of, I guess, ill discipline, a few 50-metre penalties. One that was about 100 metres off the ball. How disappointing was that, and was that something that was being addressed already by the coaching staff?
No, we're not going to address individual moments like that. It is another game where we got where free kicks hurt us. It's the same thing against Port Adelaide. We gave away free kicks in poor positions, and it's tough because it makes it hard to defend. But we spoke about just in general the way that we defended as a unit wasn't up to scratch, and our pressure was inconsistent. And then clearly when we went forward, again inconsistent. Didn't make the most of our opportunities. Didn't probably share the ball enough. Went in our forward half as well. It's probably the first time in a long time we sort of lacked a bit of composure, which is again disappointing.
You're the captain of this side, and you're incredibly passionate about this club. How much does it kind of dig in your guts that you had the chance tonight to lock in that final spot, and now you've got to butter up and go again next week to get there?
Disappointing, but we knew regardless what happened this game, the season next week would be a challenge, and now there's a lot on the line, but I'm really confident in this group because we've been under adversity multiple times throughout this season, and every time we've stuck together and we've responded, and that's what this moment requires from us. And again, I'm confident that we can stick together, sit in this disappointment, learn our lessons early in the week, and make sure that we rock up next weekend ready to go and ready to put in a good performance.
I guess a big job for you this week to turn this side's attention to the Dogs and to recover and get ready for that game and to try and wipe this result away pretty quickly. That's on you and the leaders.
Yeah, well, we've got a bit of time. 9-day break. We'll have some time to ourselves over the next couple of days. Stick together. We'll move on back at the club on Monday, I think, and we'll review the game. We'll move on and we'll look forward to the Bulldogs just like we've done at every time this year, win or loss. And I'm confident in our process that we'll be able to respond.
Yeah, so this win, does it knock the confidence at all, given you came up against a really good side and couldn't get it done tonight, and we're probably nowhere near your best football from what we've seen the last 2.5 months?
Not at all. I think, as I said, we've been multiple times this year where we've been up against it and we've had some disappointing results, and we know our best footy is good enough, and we've shown that over the last few months. So again, learn our lessons, stick together and make sure that we're given our best chance to play our best footy next week.
And it's a real quick one. Nat Fyfe played a really good role in that last quarter. He came on and did what Nat Fyfe does. He was brilliant at the source, and a lot of love from the fans, a lot of love from the players. You've only got, at least one game left them, hopefully a few more, but what does he mean to this football club, and how much is that also going to drive you along with that maiden premiership dream?
Hopefully we've got a few more games with Nat. He was great when he came on, and he'll continue to be a great presence for us moving forward. I'm not going to talk about Nat's obituary tonight because it's not, and we've got more left in us, and so does he.
Really appreciate your time, Alex. Good luck for next week, and hopefully a finals campaign as well.
No worries, thank you.
Thank you to Mitch Turner going down to the Dockers rooms for us, and also to Alex Pearce, their captain, after being on the end of a 57-point loss tonight. Brisbane
For the first time since 2022, we'll have the reigning premier through to the finals and a 7th consecutive finals appearance for the Lions off the back of their win tonight over the Dockers. 15-11, 101 to Fremantle's 5-14-44. I like this. I'm not sure whether it's from Kay or Frank. They're talking about the solution to the Dockers. They should play Snoop Dogg at training. Forget about reviewing. Just put on the dog at training in the build-up. Quite funny.
I'd wait till the 27th of September to hear Snoop Dogg.
Oh, look, I remember there was a theory throughout the Olympics, and I think it was our beach volleyball players who got told they had to fill their house with gold in the build-up to the Olympics to sort of get in the mindset of winning a gold medal. Maybe if you start playing Snoop, you get into the mindset of appearing on grand final day.
Come out the race.
That's
right.
right.
The Snoop Dogg dance, dusting their shoes off.
You a fan of the Snoop Dogg?
Oh, I'm a
grand final?
Snoop Dogg fan, but not for grand final.
Really, was
You
it?
know who I said should have done it? Or was that you? I was talking
no, it
with
was Mitch.
Yeah. Big Freo team as well.
Tame Impala.
Tame Impala. Definitely should have been Tame.
Been on the Tame Impala bandwagon for a while, but, you know, good old Kevin Parker. He's a bit busy at the moment. He's just had his second child, so they're probably a little bit busy.
Wait. Or Timmy Trumpet.
It's got a bit silly in here. Billy, what did you make about Snoop Dogg being named as the grand final entertainment?
I don't mind Snoop, but I'm a bit the same as not on a day grand final. Might be a little bit different if it had a big night show and everything else, but I don't want to be too controversial. I think he's a nighttime act.
Yeah,
personally.
I don't think it really feeds to his kind of genre either.
Right.
Well, the Super Bowl performance that they did when it was in LA a couple of years ago was amazing, but it's a whole ordeal. There's lights, everything going on. It's not going to be like that.
I'm prepared to wait and see. I want to see if he rocks the joint. Pardon the pun.
So I've just walked in on a great conversation, and I do love the fact that you mentioned the Super Bowl performance, because I will say that also featured Dr. Dre, Eminem,
Kendrick
Lamar. Like, they brought out every major US rapper of the last 20 years. I'm not sure those names are going to make it to grand final.
Hang on,
maybe
hang
Timmy
on.
Trumpet.
I have to interview. Now, this is going to put a real task on the great Adam Jones in the studio. But Jonesy, if you've got the Bailey goal, I just want you to find the Bailey goal that he kicked over his head. I'm sure you've got this saved. The reason is because Pat's got back to us with nice response, guys. Don't worry, the commentary out of Melbourne's just as wobbly. No, I can't cop that either. I would suggest a little bit more energy. A little bit more energy. Pat, this is how he called one of Zach Bailey's goals. Have a listen to this.
Hands it to Wilmot, in space at left half forward. 55 out from goal, kicks towards full forward. Morris went out, couldn't quite mark. Spills down again. Oh, Bailey! That's incredible! Over his head, a stunning goal! Zach Bailey, he does kick truly special majors, and that was magnificent.
Now, Pat, if I had more energy, then I would solve the power crisis in this nation. Come on.
I
That was a great goal.
You could have whipped the shirt off and done a lap of Optus per stadium. I think that's
No,
about
that would be a bad thing for the 50+ thousand people in this. I don't want to scare them.
Not sure what he wants there.
No. Again, I'm a firm believer in that you can text him whatever you like, and I'm allowed to hit back if you text us in with rubbish. That's my attitude to this sort of
You
stuff.
had receipts.
I've got a text message that's come in as well, and it's from Trent in Saint-Tropez, and he says that was the loss that Fremantle actually needed.
Oh, the loss you had to have.
The loss they had to have.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
It's glass half full.
That is
very
What if they
optimistic
lose
way of
next
looking
week
at
and
it.
they don't play finals?
I'm absolutely prepared. On that, Fremantle will deserve the criticism that will come this week, which is that they cannot be trusted. And rightly or wrongly, that's the curse that Fremantle will cop, because people will say they knew they had to win this game. They were at home. They had all the emotion of Nat Fyfe. And not only did they... Look, if they'd got just beaten by Brisbane, then I would go, that's fair enough. But to lose the way they lost tonight, when really they were absolutely, completely outplayed, then I'm absolutely prepared to say they deserve to cop what they copped this week. Speaking of the Dockers, well done, Jonesy, back in the studio. You are a gun. Let's have a little listen to what their coach, Justin Longmuir, had to say at the press conference.
Well, disappointed with the way we jumped into the game. Didn't defend our front half well, allowed them to take too many uncontested marks. Having said that, I think we'd had 3 more scoring shots till half time, and we just, it was 0-8. I mean, JT straightened us up in that second quarter and we started getting a little bit of momentum, but then same issues after half time. I think our clearance let us down, first possession let us down in particular in the third quarter, and forced to play the game a bit from our back half and got behind on the scoreboard, and everything became fast play, and then we just kept on missing opportunity after opportunity, and then I suppose the pressure of the game in terms of being behind on the scoreboard, we just had to chase, and we didn't chase well. As said to the players, it's probably the first time I've seen us be behind and lack composure in those plays where you take a mark in the goal square and you go to play on. Before that, the opportunity before that was, it just looked like we were out everywhere, and we had a little check. Jager missed a shot from 15 metres out, and both those plays we dwelled on, and both those kick-ins went up the middle, and they got field position and scored. So just that felt like it was the first time we've been in that position for a while. We've probably felt the pressure of the game and lacked a little bit of composure to finish our work off.
So there he is, the coach of the Fremantle Dockers, Justin Longmuir, speaking to the media downstairs after the Dockers lost by 57 points to the Lions. Brisbane winning by 15-11, 101 to 5-14-44. And the Saints celebrate their 4th straight win, 11-11-77 over the Bombers, 11-9-75 in the game earlier tonight. Tomorrow, the Expansion Cup, which we'll have for you if you're listening here in the West. Gold Coast versus GWS. For the rest of the nation, Carlton versus Port Adelaide is where you'll be heading after Corbin Middlemass, Mick Malthouse and Luke Ball take you through Saturday AFL. Then Hawthorn and Melbourne, and Adelaide versus Collingwood, the other games. And Adelaide versus Collingwood, what a massive contest that will be in Adelaide. We need to get the votes, gents, before we do anything else. So mostly so
Sure.
I don't forget.
No, I'm going to do the votes. I'm going to drop them like they're hot.
Very good.
Very good from you. I laugh at my own joke.
That's right. We laughed as well. It was good.
Now, 1 vote, Logan Morris, 4 goals, which takes him to, 47 for the season?
Yep.
Just love watching him play, and he was the dominant forward on the ground. 2 votes to Jasper Fletcher, 32 disposals, really orchestrated a lot of their defensive half play. He was phenomenal. And 3 votes to Zach Bailey, 28 touches, 443 metres gained. He had 10 marks, 7 ground ball gets, and 2 goals too. And
first half as well,
he
set the tone.
Yeah, he also kicked a goal where the energy around the stadium and in this call was through the roof.
It was.
For the Fremantle Dockers, this was hard work, actually, coming up with, the clear best player for Fremantle, which I'll get to. But one, I ended up with Tracy. I thought he was a focal point in the second quarter when Fremantle were good. He was the reason why. He should really have kicked 3. He played on in the goal square, and we heard Justin Longmuir talk about that. 2, Alex Pearce. He was just solid. I struggled to find too many other players, actually, for Fremantle, but the 3 votes, Caleb Sarong, I thought he did his bit. 12 ground balls, 8 clearances, 5 tackles. He was tenacious, he was tough, but it was a pretty lean day for Fremantle.
26 disposals for Caleb Sarong. He did not hit the 28 disposal mark, where they are 11-0.
Yeah.
If he doesn't get his hands on the ball, Fremantle don't win.
Well, he was their best player, in my opinion, but that's an interesting stat.
Yep.
Any other numbers? Mitch Turner's made his way up from downstairs. Outstanding from you.
What are the big numbers which will be dissected, Mitch, which I'll let you go through, but some of the numbers Brisbane have turned in cricket scores.
Yeah.
Well, I brought up the...
Sorry, I'll jump back in there. It was the turnovers that are just 11-7 from turnovers.
Yeah, well, the numbers of the marks, which we spoke about during the game as well, which led to the uncontested possession that I put to Alex Pearce, and he said, you're willing to give up some marks if you don't think they hurt you, but there was a point where Fremantle couldn't touch the ball, and that was reflected in those numbers. 159 marks to 61 in favour of Brisbane, which is a massive number. The uncontested possessions, 261 to 171. The contested possessions, Fremantle only lost by 13, but they were smacked by 90 in the uncontested numbers. The inside 50s, only a difference of 3 in the end, 51 to 48 the way of the Lions. The Dockers won the hit-outs by 17. The clearance count was 32 to 26 Brisbane's way, so Fremantle have some issues there again, and the tackle count 41 to 37 Fremantle's way. Individually, Jasper Fletcher, career high 32 touches. Hugh McCluggage, 28 and the goal. Zach Bailey, 28 and 2 goals. Dane Zorko, 27. Josh Dunkley, 24. And Caleb Strong, as mentioned, 26 touches. Jordan Clark, 24. Andrew Brayshaw, 22. Luke Ryan, 18. Neil Erasmus, 17. Worth mentioning, and you probably have already while I was downstairs with Alex Pearce, but Jasper Fletcher, 32 disposals and 17 marks as well, which is just a massive number.
Before we hear and just wrap things up quickly, I do want to go across Ross Lyon, the coach of the Victoria St Kilda Football Club, who got over the Bombers by 2 points, had a bit to say about the Marvel surface tonight on his first tweet since 2022, as we mentioned during the coverage. Had a bit of a go that they left the roof open before the games. Looked like it made the surface a little bit slippery. This was the quote: "How good Essendon's Legends games, looking for a Gary Moorcroft goal square hang. Oh no, might be hard. Marvel Stadium did not manage to close the roof before the rain came." So post-game, obviously he's going to be spoken or asked a little bit about the Docklands surface. This is what Ross Lyon had to say.
I think we all need to acknowledge, though, the difference of Marvel. You get to MCG, there's beautiful soft give in the ground. It's there, but, I mean, it's concrete out there. It's hard as a rock. The grass is like my scalp, really thin. And it becomes very, very tricky conditions, which is okay, but... I just thought I was hoping for a Gary Moorcroft mark. But I don't know what the policies and procedures are, though. But I don't know. Did they stick to them? I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Do they review themselves like we get reviewed? Probably not. They go home and head up to Embassy Garage up there and get some steamed dim sims and have a Coke Zero and have a chuckle.
Ross asking for a bit of stadium rigour when it comes to shutting the roof.
He goes on some tangents, doesn't
That
he?
cafe, I'm sure is that the one in West Melbourne where a lot of taxi drivers hang out? Is that where you go to get some dim sims, is it? I'm sure that's the one he's referring to.
Imagine they lost. That was Ross in a good mood. That was terrific. He actually tweeted again.
Did he?
Well,
someone's got his
after
phone.
not tweeting for 3 years.
These young people addicted to their phones.
He tweeted, and then someone asked him if he got the plush toy they sent him, and he said, yes, it's on my Saints backpack. So post-game, he responded to a random fan who responded to his tweet. So, bang, bang, Ross Lyon, 2 in a night after a long hiatus.
Yeah.
Oh, the world.
Watch this space.
The world could be coming to an end when Ross Lyon tweets like that.
He'd actually have a great X account. Like, if he just said what he wanted to say, it would be actually a great account.
What you mean, like he does in his press conferences?
Yeah, just on everything, like not football, just like his commentary of the world would be so straight.
The cobblers are the cobbling, mate.
I've got a bit for the Sunday Footy Forum about, let's put it as journalistic rigour. Stick around if you can join us on Sunday, 11 o'clock in the west and 1 o'clock in the east. You'll enjoy it. Jared Berry with the AC issue, the dislocated shoulder. How long would you expect he might miss for? Because that did look nasty the way he came off the ground.
They can be a broad range, can't they? It just depends on the individual and the mechanism and a few other things. And the laxity, how much it pops back in and how much damage is done. But he looked really, really upset on the way out. He slammed the gate as he was going down to the room. So we'll have to wait and see on that. I can't give you anything more than that, Clint, but because there is a wide range.
And from history, I seem to remember him having his shoulders strapped a lot through his career.
Yeah, it was heavily sort of strapped, almost on both sides, really, underneath his jumper, sort of looks like.
It was kind of like, do you remember Gary Ablett's one was really bad, but it was that action where he was reaching out forward and it pops it down towards the ground. Not great. Not great.
The one thing we now know from Fremantle, from hearing from Hayden Young in the pre-game, is he will be back next week. Fremantle desperately need him now, that must-win game against the Western Bulldogs. He could make an enormous difference.
He could, particularly, we spoke about, and so did Justin, the lack of skill execution. And Hayden Young's got that.
He alone be the difference.
He alone won't be the difference. There's a lot of things that they've got to
when they're on, he could be the difference.
Just want to shout out to Laurie, who, for our first time in charge of being the tech, he's lurking at the back.